Chapter 72. There's no need for that. Shen Yu refused without hesitation. He could already imagine the reactions of the officials if Shang Junlin openly brought him to the Great Hall. Shan Yu felt that for the sake of the hearts of the officials, it was better for him not to join in the fun. What is you worried about? Shang Junlin caressed Shen Yu's delicate neck. Are you worried that the officials will object? Don't worry, they won't say anything. Shan Yu finally understood that when Shang Junlin said that he wanted to bring him to the palace examination, it was not on a whim. Instead, he had already decided. He was a little confused. Why does your Majesty insist on bringing me there? Have you forgotten that we still have a bet between us? Doesn't you want to see the results first? Shang Junlin coaxed in a low voice. Shan Yu glanced at him. Of course I didn't forget. Your Majesty has already asked for the bet in advance. It doesn't make much of a difference whether the results are good or not. Shen Yu thought of the scene that day and his face heated up. The beauty's eyes were shy and there was a light pink on her face. Shang Junlin's heart was moved. He leaned closer and kissed Yu. It's my selfishness to bring Yu. Take it that Yu is accompanying me, en? Your Majesty, Shen Yu tried to reason with him. Since ancient times, the imperial harem has never been allowed to interfere in politics. Your Majesty is already giving me preferential treatment by discussing the matters of the imperial court with me. The court examination is not like other things. No matter how you look at it, as a noble, I shouldn't set foot in it. Husband and wife are one. Yu and I should not be separated. Yu can do anything and go anywhere that I can. Shang Junlin intimately rubbed Shen Yu's cheek. I know that Yu is very talented. It's unfair for you to be trapped in the harem. I can't accept it because I'm covering up Yu's talent. Shan Yu was stunned. He didn't expect Shang Junlin to say such words. His heart ached, and an imperceptible sweetness slowly rose. He opened his mouth, and his voice was inexplicably bitter. I don't care about these things. Your Majesty, you don't have to do this for me. Shang Junlin held her tightly in his arms. Just take it as satisfying my selfish desires, Yu. His Yu should have been an eagle soaring in the sky, but because of him, because of Duke Zhenbei's stupidity, it was trapped in the harem. Because of his selfishness, he did not want to let go. His Yu could only stand by his side and could only belong to him. Shan Yu had no choice but to agree. Shang Junlin happily hugged her and whispered, Actually, it's very boring to sit on the throne. You can't do anything for more than 2 hours. Shan Yu touched the man's drooping hair. So, Your Majesty, you want me to accompany you to relieve your boredom? You can think of it this way. Shan Yu chuckled and held the man's face with both hands. Your Majesty, you don't have to feel that you're holding me back. It's my own choice to enter the harem. No one forced me. I'm very happy that Your Majesty treats me so well. Your Majesty, you don't have to think of letting me go to the imperial court to show off my skills. I don't like it. Shen Yu stared straight into Shang Junlin's eyes as if he wanted to see into his heart. He emphasized again, What I like is to be free and unrestrained, not to be endlessly deceived, Your Majesty. When he was with Shang Junlin, he experienced peace. It didn't matter if he was selfish or cowardly. He was really tired of the feeling of having to carefully calculate every step he took and every word he said in his previous life. When he first entered the harem, he didn't plan to stay for long. It was Shang Junlin who showed him another way of life. So this is what it feels like to have someone to shelter you from the wind and rain. Shang Junlin's eyes darkened. After a while, he suddenly laughed. Yu, even if you want to, I won't give you the chance to escape from me. His Yu, since she was in front of him, she would never be able to leave his side. The news that Shang Junlin wanted to bring Shan Yu to the court examination was discussed in advance with the ministers present. A few of them knew Shang Junlin's temper very well and didn't raise any objections. They calmly accepted this matter. A few others who were dissatisfied naturally didn't dare to speak up when they saw that the Prime Minister and the others didn't say anything. After that, someone was puzzled. Even if His Majesty dotes on His Highness, there should be a limit. How can he bring His Highness to the court examination? Yes. Why didn't you persuade His Majesty and let him do as he pleases? The Prime Minister slowly tidied up his sleeves and answered without raising his head, Do you think His Majesty is asking for our opinions when he is talking to us? A few of them thought about it and their faces turned ugly. Obviously, you know that. No, His Majesty has already made up his mind. If we oppose him, it will only make His Majesty unhappy. What can we do? But, since ancient times, the harem is not allowed to interfere in politics. Shouldn't His Highness avoid suspicion on such an important occasion? The Prime Minister thought of the young man who proposed the new commercial law and the flood control method. He sighed. His Majesty has his reasons for doing this. We don't need to worry about it. If it weren't for Count Bey's muddle-headedness and being trapped in the harem, the young man would have been able to shine in the court. Seeing that the Prime Minister was firmly on His Majesty's side, the officials had no choice but to shut their mouths. They would never dare to talk to His Majesty about this. The students who failed the metropolitan examination had left the capital one after another. They either found a job or returned to their hometowns to prepare for the examination. They would take the examination again in 3 years. Jiang Huiqing and He Chengyu were the top few students in the metropolitan examination. After dealing with all the guests, they went into seclusion to prepare for the court examination. Yingxing Tower also quieted down for a while. After the Minister of Works received His Majesty's permission, he sent someone to find Yan Zheng to discuss the sponsorship. After hearing what the person from the Ministry of Works said, Yan Zheng put away his fan. This method is too beneficial for us businessmen. I didn't expect to get such a great benefit. Young Master Yen, you don't have to say that. If it weren't for your kindness, we would still have to worry. The person who came had a good impression of Yan Zheng and spoke with a hint of intimacy. As they exchanged cups, the atmosphere became more and more lively. Yan Zheng had been a businessman for many years and was able to twist black into white. The person from the Ministry of Works had never seen such a scene. After a few words, he was able to get a lot of information out of him. However, Yan Zheng was used to being strict. He only asked about trivial matters. Even if the person sobered up, he wouldn't think that there was anything wrong with what he said. Did His Majesty come up with the idea of sponsorship? Yan Zheng looked up. The servant beside him hurriedly poured wine for the two of them. The wine was of the highest quality. It tasted fresh and fragrant. It was a good choice for welcoming guests. The person from the Ministry of Works was already a little drunk, but his mind was still clear. He knew what to say and what not to say. He lowered his voice and reminded Yan Zheng, the higher-ups may be making a big move. Young Master Yen, you have to seize the opportunity. After getting the information he wanted, Yan Zheng knew when to stop and naturally changed the topic. Seeing that he didn't ask any more questions, the person from the Ministry of Works was relieved. He became more satisfied and thought to himself, he knows how to behave. He's someone we can cooperate with for a long time. Late at night, Yan Zheng sent someone to send the person from the Ministry of Works away. He stood by the roadside and watched the carriage go away. His eyes were obscure. Young master, you can go in. The servant brought a cloak and put it on Yan Zheng. I made the right decision to come to the capital. Yan Zheng chuckled. The servant didn't understand. Young master, what are you talking about? Those people probably didn't expect it. They thought that they were banishing me, but they didn't expect that they would give me a path to heaven. Compared to what they are about to get, what is the treasure they are guarding? Fortune and misfortune really depended on each other. He originally thought that he would need to spend more effort, but now that an opportunity had come knocking on his door, the time needed to achieve his goal would be greatly reduced. Yan Zheng didn't sleep for the whole night. He was readjusting his plan. He had to make good use of the help that fell from the sky. Young master. The servant came in with a bowl of hot porridge. I've inquired about the people you asked me to. It's very strange. I couldn't find any information about them. After parting ways with Shang Junlin and Shen Yu that day, Yen Zhang sent someone to inquire about the two people. It wasn't that he wanted to do anything, but he simply wanted to get to know them. There were really too few people who were extraordinary in conversation and had perfect looks. Not to mention other things, it would be good if he could make friends with them. One of the main principles of a businessman was to make as many friends as possible. Oh. Yen Zheng stopped writing. You couldn't find anything? What about the other family? I've asked carefully. The other family should be Lord Fong and his family. As for the two people that young master is looking for, I really couldn't find any clues. I understand. Ask your men to come back. Don't look for them anymore. Pretend that this never happened in the future. Lord Fong was the favorite person of the emperor. Yen Zhang had paid attention to him that day. Although he tried to hide it, from his actions, it didn't seem like he was pretending to be respectful towards the two people that he was looking for. How many people could make Lord Fong treat them with such respect? Yen Zheng smiled. That was why it was said that his luck was unparalleled. Yen Zheng's actions couldn't be hidden from the hidden dragon guards. Not long after, Shang Junlin received the news. However, the court examination was about to start and this matter could only be dealt with later. Shan Yu woke up early and changed into a more formal outfit. Shang Junlin was still wearing the emperor's ceremonial robe. It was black and had golden embroidery on it. There was no cover or screen. Shang Junlin held Shan Yu's hand and sat on the high seat. The officials were informed in advance. When they saw the two of them sitting together, they looked forward and prepared to start. After the candidates bowed to the emperor, they lowered their heads and sat down one by one. Under the rule of not looking at the emperor directly, no one dared to look up. The court examination didn't just test one's knowledge. It also tested one's mental endurance. Shan Yu sat on the high seat and the reactions of the candidates were obvious. Some of them were obviously nervous. In fact, most of them were nervous. Shan Yu looked around. He Chengyu and Zhang Huiqing were in a good state. They were writing their answers in an orderly manner. The other person who was acting differently was Feng Jiai. Feng Jiai was wearing the uniform of a student. Her back was straight and she was concentrating on the answers in front of her. Time passed slowly. Finally, it was time. The candidates stopped writing and someone came forward to collect the answers. Everything was about to come to an end. Those who didn't perform well were already pale. The candidates entered the side hall to wait. The officials picked up the answers and flipped through the answers. Without exception, the new bloodline of the imperial court would be born here. After sitting for more than 2 hours, Shan Yu stood up and stretched his arms and legs. When he thought about how the officials looked at him a few times, Shan Yu felt happy. Yu, how do you feel? Shang Junlin walked down the stairs with her in his arms. Your Majesty is right. These 2 hours were really hard to endure. He couldn't make any big movements or speak. Shan Yu felt that he shouldn't have agreed to Shang Junlin's request. However, Your Majesty, do you think Zhang Huiqing and the others will be surprised when they see us? Chapter 73. Yu has corresponded with Zhang Huiqing so many times. Did he not suspect our identities at all? Shang Junlin asked. Your Majesty has read most of those letters. Does Your Majesty not know? Shan Yu glanced at him. Originally, Shang Junlin didn't care about these things. He wouldn't ask Shen Yu about anything. At first, he didn't think it was necessary. As long as he was sure that Shan Yu didn't have the intention to harm De Huan, he wouldn't care. Later, he was moved and didn't want to pry into Shen Yu's personal space. He gave him enough respect. He cared about Zhang Huiqing's letters because he was jealous. Shan Yu was annoyed by Shang Junlin several times with this excuse. He simply read the letters together with him every time, so that he wouldn't torment him with all kinds of reasons. Shang Junlin didn't feel embarrassed at being discovered. He intimately moved closer to Shan Yu's ear and said, You wanted to read the letters with me. You can't blame me. From time to time, the ministers restrained themselves and looked at him. Shan Yu wasn't in the mood to show off his intimate relationship with Shang Junlin in front of the ministers. He nudged him and said, "He probably doesn't know." If he had known, he wouldn't have written to him as frequently as before, and he definitely wouldn't have used the tone of an old friend. Although the current Jiang Huiqing was younger than in his previous life, some things that were engraved in his bones wouldn't change. Or maybe he doesn't want to think about it. Shan Yu thought for a while and added, "The loophole of us leaving the palace is actually quite big. If he thinks about it deeply, he might be able to guess our identities." Yu is right. For example, He Cheng Yu, who is beside him, should have already guessed our identities. Under Shen Yu's hint, Shang Junlin loosened his arms around Shen Yu's waist. Shang Junlin's cold eyes swept across the hall. The ministers who were deliberately looked at were frightened and lowered their heads. They didn't dare to look at him again. Shen Yu breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, no one was looking at him from time to time. He Cheng Yu, as the legitimate son of the He family, one of the top aristocratic families in Jiangnan, it's not surprising that he has such insight. Shan Yu had already learned about He Cheng Yu's family background from Shang Junlin. He was not surprised that his and Shang Junlin's identities had been guessed. The graders would not be able to see the names of the candidates. Even Shang Junlin would not know which candidate had answered which paper before the final results were out. The exam results for De Huan were released on the same day, and the grading officials were already prepared before the exam started. After the examinees left, they immediately started grading. During this period of time, the examinees were arranged to stay in a special side hall. The palace had prepared meals, and they were all top-notch delicacies. It could be considered a special reward for the examinees who had reached this step. Not everyone could enjoy the imperial cuisine of the palace. The side hall was spacious enough. Before the results were out, the examinees could rest as they wished. However, at this time, not many people could relax and enjoy themselves. Jiang Huiqing stretched his limbs and walked to He Cheng Yu's side. "Brother Cheng Yu, why do you not look nervous at all?" Almost everyone in the hall was restless. There were many delicious dishes on the table, but they couldn't alleviate the anxiety in their hearts. There were only a few who could sit down and enjoy the delicious food. He Cheng Yu was one. As for the other, Jiang Huiqing stared at the person for a while, his eyes widening. He nudged He Cheng Yu with his elbow and said in a low voice, "Brother Cheng Yu, look over there." He Cheng Yu followed his gaze and couldn't help but pause. "Isn't this?" Jiang Huiqing nodded vigorously. The curiosity in his heart almost overflowed. "It's really her. Why is she here? And dressed like this?" Jiang Huiqing saw that it was Feng Jiai, the daughter of the Feng family. Because of Shen Yu and Shang Junlin, Jiang Huiqing and Feng Jiai could be considered acquaintances. Since the last time they parted, they hadn't seen each other again. He never thought that they would meet again under such circumstances. Could it be that they are brothers? Jiang Huiqing shook his head. He felt that it didn't seem like it. Feeling someone's gaze, Feng Jiai turned her head and saw a familiar face. She paused for a moment, then stood up and walked over. "Brother Jiang, brother He." Although the voice was deliberately lowered, it wasn't difficult for Jiang Huiqing to recognize that it was Feng Jiai's voice. "Feng." He originally wanted to say Miss Feng, but felt that it wasn't appropriate and changed the way he addressed her. "Young Master Feng?" "That's me," Feng Jiai admitted directly and sat across the two of them. His guess was confirmed. Jiang Huiqing was dumbfounded. He turned to look at He Cheng Yu and saw that there was an imperceptible crack on the man's face. He slowly calmed down. Anyway, he wasn't the only one who was surprised. Jiang Huiqing threw the question to the back of his mind and chatted with Feng Jiai in high spirits. They had a brief contact before. Jiang Huiqing liked Feng Jiai's decisive style, especially when dealing with the matter of Prince Yu. She didn't hesitate and defended the victim with reason and evidence. How many men could have such courage? This wasn't the place to get to the bottom of the matter. Jiang Huiqing wasn't the kind of person who would ask until the end of the matter. They skipped the topic that couldn't be discussed and chatted happily. He Chengyu occasionally added a few words. The three of them looked happy and harmonious. The little eunuch who was serving in the side hall saw everything. It didn't take long for the news to reach Shang Junlin's ears. At that time, Shang Junlin was looking at the selected excellent answer sheets. Shan Yu was sitting next to him and looking with him. Eunuch Meng came over and reported the news in a low voice. The three of them actually got together. Shan Yu thought it was quite interesting. Yes. Eunuch Meng's eyes were smiling. The three of them talked happily and the atmosphere was very harmonious. Jiang Huiqing and He Chengyu recognized Miss Feng's female identity. Shan Yu stood up and asked. Eunuch Meng answered every question, replying to Your Highness, it seems that they recognized her. Jiang Huiqing's expression changed greatly at that time, but he recovered in an instant. He must have recognized her. He Chengyu's expression didn't change much. Is Your Majesty going to directly announce Miss Feng's identity later? No matter what Feng Jiai's final results were, entering the court exam meant that she was half a step into the official career. To enter the court, one's identity had to be carefully checked. Shang Junlin could help her cover it up a few times before. This time, even the emperor couldn't cover it up. They sat a certain distance away from the other officials. If they lowered their voices, they wouldn't be heard. When the final results are out, it will definitely be announced. Her original intention was to enter the officialdom as a woman. Shang Junlin didn't hide his intentions. I can already foresee the commotion in the court in the coming days. Not just in the court. When the time came, there would probably be several piles of impeachment reports. However, there really isn't a need to confine a woman to the inner residence. There are many things a woman can do. Shan Yu would never forget that he had glimpsed a glimpse of the future from that book. Just a glimpse was enough to make one's heart tremble. It was hard to imagine what it would be like to live in that era. They will have to change their views eventually. Not only will women enter the court as officials, but there will also be new laws regarding merchants. Perhaps there will be more changes in the future. If they are unwilling to accept it, then we can just replace them. What I want is never an official who follows the rules. Shang Junlin's nature was filled with killing intent. He spent all of his childhood and part of his youth on the battlefield. This caused his style of doing things to lean towards attacking rather than defending, whether it was in governing the country or when he faced Shen Yu. Shen Yu rested his chin on his hand as he looked at Shang Junlin. At this moment, he could clearly feel that Shang Junlin was the emperor of Dehuan. He was the ruler of a country that couldn't be disobeyed. When Shang Junlin was in front of him, he would always deliberately restrain his aggressive nature. Shen Yu suddenly realized that he didn't dislike Shang Junlin as much as he had imagined. Why are you looking at me like that? Shang Junlin stroked Shen Yu's hair. I feel that Your Majesty looks very good today. Shen Yu replied with a smile. Shang Junlin laughed. No matter how good I look, I can't compare to a you. While the two were talking, the officials had already discussed the general results. Your Majesty, I think that this answer is enough to be the champion. I think this answer is more promising. Seeing that they were about to quarrel again, Shang Junlin said, Tell me your reasons. The answer in my hand is wide open and deep inside. Shen Yu listened as he flipped through the answers with Shang Junlin. These 3 answer sheets were explained from different angles and each had their own characteristics. At first glance, they were not inferior to each other. Shen Yu saw familiar handwriting and took that answer sheet and read it carefully. He looked at the other 2 answer sheets carefully and vaguely had an answer in his heart. After a reasonable discussion, everyone had a general result in their hearts. The Prime Minister picked up one of the answers and stood out. I think that this person should be the champion. This time, no one objected. The final result was the same as Shen Yu's thought. Without returning to the court examination, the top 3 were the most difficult to determine. After these 3 were determined, the rest of the results were more or less confirmed. At this time, the officials would know who each answer sheet corresponded to. As expected, the first place was He Chengyu. Jiang Huiqing was third. When the second name list came out, it was beyond everyone's expectations. Immediately, an official knelt down. "Your Majesty, you can't." "Oh. You chose this person after discussion. What do you mean by saying that you can't?" Shang Junlin sat on the high seat and looked at the people kneeling below. This person disguised herself as a man to participate in the imperial examination. This is the crime of deceiving the emperor. Deceiving the emperor? How come I don't know how she deceives the emperor? Official Ming, if I remember correctly, 15 minutes ago, you were arguing about whether this essay was qualified to be the champion. That's because I didn't know that it was written by a woman. As a woman, she can write such a beautiful essay. Does Official Ming want to deny the excellence of the essay just because she is a woman? Shen Yu asked. That's not what I meant. However, this essay was the one he thought the most highly. He could not refute it even if he wanted to. Denying the excellence of the essay was the same as denying his own judgment. Looking at the emperor's expression, it was obvious that he already knew about this. Official Ming sighed and retreated to the side. After the results were out, the candidates had to meet the emperor again and kowtow to express their gratitude at the same time. Jiang Huiqing followed a group of students into the main hall. His results in the metropolitan examination were the best, so he stood at the front. After listening to Eunuch Meng's instructions and kowtowing, a steady voice came from above. "Rise." This voice gave Jiang Huiqing an inexplicably familiar feeling. He boldly took the opportunity to look up. Chapter 74. When he saw the two people standing in front of him, Jiang Huiqing's current mood could be described with the words heaven and earth turned upside down. A man in a black imperial robe and a young man in blue stood side by side. He wasn't completely familiar with their faces, but their aura couldn't lie. Even though their faces had changed a bit, Jiang Huiqing still recognized them. Brother Lin, Brother Yu. Jiang Huiqing's mind was numb. If it weren't for the person next to him quietly pulling on his clothes, he probably would have lost his composure in front of the emperor. With difficulty, Jiang Huiqing followed the students and bowed. When the rankings were announced, his thoughts once again drifted away. It turned out that Brother Lin and Brother Yu were the current emperor and Shen Guijun. For some unknown reason, the two of them concealed their identities and left the palace, and just happened to meet them at Yingxing Tower. Jiang Huiqing recalled his actions these past few days and just wanted to facepalm. He was worried about Brother Yu, oh no, worried about Guijuan's situation in her husband's family, interrupting His Majesty and Guijuan's intimacy, and frequently writing letters to Guijun. Look at what he had done. He actually wrote in the letter that someone had asked him to cheat, and the matter of him cheating was smoothly resolved. He had thought that the two of them were at most officials, but never would he have thought that these two people were the pinnacle of power in Dehuan. There were also some other things. For example, in Guijuan's letters to him, she jokingly said that because he frequently wrote letters, her husband was jealous. What did he do at that time? He spent most of the letters ridiculing Brother Lin, no, His Majesty's behavior. Because he was more and more familiar with them, the tone of his letters became more and more casual. If he knew that these letters would eventually be sent to the imperial palace, he wouldn't have written those things. No, he wouldn't have written letters so frequently. After all the rankings were announced, Shang Junlin opened his mouth to say some words of encouragement and warning. Shen Yu stood above and watched Jiang Huiqing's expression change again and again. It seemed that he had recognized their identities. Shen Yu was amused. This time, Jiang Huiqing must have received quite a shock. Jiang Huiqing was absent-minded throughout the whole process, until Shang Junlin mentioned Feng Jiai's name. Among the candidates this time, there is one with a rather special identity. She is our newly crowned bannerman, Feng Jiai, the daughter of Lord Feng Jun. This is the first time in the history of the Great Huan dynasty that a woman has achieved such outstanding results. What? The second place was a woman? As soon as Shang Junlin finished speaking, there was a commotion below. Shang Junlin did not pay attention to these people. He left behind the top three of the first rank and sent the others out of the palace. The officials wanted to say something but stopped themselves. Due to Shang Junlin's attitude, they couldn't say anything and followed the examinees out of the hall. Several people gathered together and discussed in low voices. Since ancient times, there has never been a precedent of a woman becoming an official. Are we going to let His Majesty do as he pleases? The results were chosen by everyone. What's the point of saying this now? Are we going to strike off her rightful ranking because of her identity as a woman? But Feng Jie disguised herself as a man and entered the examination hall. This is against the rules. Rules? Do you really think that a woman like her has the ability to hide from everyone who is searching her body? So what if she is Lord Feng's beloved daughter? Prime Minister, you mean, from the beginning, His Majesty has tacitly approved of this? What else? Look at His Majesty today. Did he even show a trace of surprise? Then, are we going to let a woman become an official in the court? This matter will take a long time. Only a few of us know about it now. When the results are announced, all the officials will know about it. Not only that, all the scholars in the world will know. His Majesty will have to deal with these officials who oppose him. The Prime Minister smoothed out the creases on his sleeves and said lightly, "Do you think His Majesty will care about what those people think? Since His Majesty has made a decision, how many times has he changed it because of the opposition of others? Prime Minister, are you going to let His Majesty do as he pleases?" Some of the officials were dissatisfied. "Sir, don't flatter me. I don't have that much ability. I just want to remind you that instead of thinking of ways to oppose His Majesty, it is better to convince yourselves to accept the established facts." As long as it was someone who could truly work for the Great Huan dynasty, the Prime Minister didn't care about the other party's background, gender, and other external conditions. He was really fed up with people who occupied positions but didn't do anything. This greatly increased his workload. In the hall, other than Jiang Huiqing, who was still out of sorts, the other two people had complicated feelings. Guessing the identities of the two people was one thing, but facing the truth was another. He Chengyu was a bit absent-minded. He and Shenyu, Shang Junlin didn't interact as much as Jiang Huiqing, but in these few interactions, Shang Junlin's image was far too different from the rumored image of the Great Huan dynasty's emperor. Everyone knew that the current emperor of the Great Huan dynasty fought his way out of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. He used ruthless methods to force his way to the throne. Although his methods were criticized by many aristocratic families, because of his contributions to the Great Huan dynasty, he still had a good reputation in the hearts of ordinary people. He Chengyu understood that Shang Junlin was ruthless, decisive, and would never go back on his word. The young Master Lin he knew listened to almost everything his wife said. Other than not liking to talk, he didn't have a temper. No matter how he looked at it, he couldn't connect the two together. However, such two distinct personalities appeared in the same person. Feng Jie's mood was also very complicated at the moment. Among the complicated feelings, there was also a trace of confusion. She knew that the path she had chosen would be difficult to walk. She had also prepared herself for a difficult struggle, but she didn't expect that the first step would be completed so easily. After a moment of silence, Shenyu said, "Eunuch Meng, bring a seat for our freshly selected top 3. Eunuch Meng accepted the order and left. After a while, there were 3 more chairs in the main hall. Shenyu pulled Shang Junlin to sit down. "I don't need to say anything. Presumably, you have already guessed my and His Majesty's identities. It is indeed as you have guessed. When I left the palace, I didn't expect to meet the future top scorer and 3rd place." This sentence confirmed Jiang Huiqing's conjecture in He Chengyu's heart. "I hope you don't blame us for hiding it." Under Shan Yu's mediation, the atmosphere was finally not as stiff as it was at the beginning. He Chengyu had already expected this and quickly adjusted his state of mind. Jiang Huiqing spent some time digesting the information and forced himself to calm down. Shenyu knew that with his and Shang Junlin's current identities, it would be difficult for Jiang Huiqing and He Chengyu to return to the way they used to be. He didn't force them to stay because of this matter. A lot of things happened during this imperial examination. Now that the results are out, I'm afraid it won't be peaceful. I just want to tell you that the results you obtain now are what you deserve. No matter what happens in the future, I hope you can maintain your original intentions. Shang Junlin didn't say it clearly, but everyone present knew what he was talking about. First, there was the matter of cheating. Jiang Huiqing was involved. Then, Feng Jiari, a woman, got second place in the imperial examination. In the future, there would be trouble in the imperial court. We will remember your teachings. The three stood up and bowed respectfully. This was Shang Junlin's home ground. Shen Yu didn't say much. Shang Junlin said a few words and let them leave. After leaving the imperial palace, Jiang Huiqing let out a long sigh of relief. Feng Jiari wanted to return home. After leaving the palace, she said goodbye to the two. Jiang Huiqing and He Chengyu went back to Yingxing Tower. In the carriage, Jiang Huiqing felt that something was wrong. He elbowed He Chengyu and asked, "Brother Chengyu, did you already know?" "Know what?" He Chengyu, who was resting with his eyes closed, opened his eyes. "You knew about Brother Lin and Brother Yu's true identities. I was shocked at the time, but you seem to have expected it." Jiang Huiqing lowered his voice. "I guessed a little, but I only confirmed it today." He Chengyu didn't hide it. "You should have warned me." Jiang Huiqing wailed and collapsed on the carriage. "Look at what I've done these days. And those letters. God, I must have eaten a bear's heart and a leopard's guts to write such things in the letters." He Chengyu helped him up. His Majesty and Gue Jun didn't say anything. Besides, you didn't know their true identities at the time. After you wrote the letters, Gue Jun replied to you. "It's okay. Did you know?" Jiang Huiqing's eyes were dull. "At the time, I only thought that Gue Jun had married into an aristocratic family. I even wrote a lot of ways to deal with the relationship between clansmen in the letter. I also wrote some ways to make Brother Lin and him stand on the same side." Thinking of that scene, He Chengyu couldn't help but laugh. He patted Jiang Huiqing's shoulder. "Just be careful in the future. His Majesty and Gue Jun are magnanimous and won't make a fuss." It wasn't a matter of whether His Majesty and Gue Jun would make a fuss or not. As long as he thought of what he had done these days, Jiang Huiqing felt like he had nothing left to live for. They rode in a carriage sent by the palace. As soon as they arrived at the entrance of Yingxing Tower, the shopkeeper of Yingxing Tower led people to greet them. They were the new top scorer and third runner-up. They were both guests of Yingxing Tower. How glorious it would be if word got out. Amidst the crowd's congratulations, the two got off the carriage. Yingxing Tower set up a small banquet for the two of them and waited for the two hosts to arrive. Feng Jiari was also sent back to the Feng family by the palace's carriage. Master Feng and Madame Feng went out to welcome her. Looking at his daughter in her school uniform, Master Feng felt a faint sense of pride. Even if he only had one daughter, so what? She wasn't inferior to any man in the world. "Father." "Good child." Master Feng rubbed his daughter's head. "The family is ready. Since you've achieved such good results, don't worry about anything else. Father will take care of it." His daughter had achieved such excellent results. It was easy to imagine what kind of shock it would cause when those old-fashioned aristocratic officials found out. "His Majesty will have a headache at court tomorrow." Under the pavilion, Shan Yu poured a cup of tea for the man sitting opposite him. Shang Junlin took the cup and drank it. "The day I agreed to Feng Jiai's daughter, I knew what the consequences would be. It's a foregone conclusion. No matter how much they make a fuss, it won't change anything. His Majesty deliberately announced the results earlier this year because he knew they would make a fuss." In Shan Yu's impression, the results of the court examinations were usually announced within 1 to 3 days. This year, Shang Junlin directly announced the results on the same day. Presumably, he wanted to announce the results to the world before anyone could react. Yu is right. You don't have to worry about the Prime Minister. Those aristocratic officials probably won't accept the results easily. Shang Junlin grasped Shen Yu's wrist. Their people didn't get a single first place this time. He Chengyu comes from an aristocratic family, but the He family doesn't have much interaction with the aristocratic families in the capital. Shen Yu smiled. They probably didn't expect the results to be like this. Shang Junlin rubbed Shen Yu's wrist. His eyes darkened. I've won again. Chapter 75. Your Majesty, you said last time that I'll be the winner this time. Didn't Your Majesty take away your winnings? Thinking of that kiss and everything that happened afterward, Shan Yu's face blushed. The skin on the inner side of his wrist was rubbed by the calloused fingertips, and the numbness spread along the skin and snaked up. Shang Junlin stared at Shan Yu, and his eyes became deeper and deeper. I did say that, but this time I want to. Will you give it to me? Shan Yu felt like his wrist was on fire, burning from the outside to the inside. He tried to withdraw his hand, but was stopped by the man. Shang Junlin didn't use much strength to hold his arm, but it was just enough for him to break free. Shan Yu tried a few times, but he couldn't withdraw his hand. The man held his hand, raised it up, and lowered his head slightly. A soft kiss fell on the back of Shan Yu's hand. Shan Yu's fingers curled up slightly as if they were scalded. Shang Junlin didn't let go of his hand. He kissed the back of his hand intimately and fell on his fingers. His thin lips were slightly open. Shan Yu only felt a wet and warm sensation on his fingers. He wanted to withdraw his fingers, but the man forcefully restrained his movements. His fingertips were densely bitten. The man's gaze fell on his body. It didn't seem like he was biting his fingers, but rather tasting something delicious. Your Majesty, let go of me. It's dirty. Shan Yu turned his head to avoid the man's gaze. His blood-red earlobe was exposed in front of the man. Shang Junlin's Adam's apple bobbed, and the fire in his eyes gradually burned. I want to kiss you. A vague voice sounded. Shan Yu's eyelashes trembled, and he lowered his head and didn't speak. Shang Junlin chuckled. The tip of his tongue circled around his finger, leaving a wet trace. Shan Yu looked to the other side. He didn't know when his hand was released. The man walked behind him and leaned over to his ear. Let me kiss you, okay? Although it was a question, Shang Junlin did not intend to listen to Shan Yu's reply. He moved closer to Shan Yu's ear and opened his mouth slightly. The ripe red fruit was placed into his mouth, and he gently rubbed it with his teeth. The fruit was too tender, and the owner was afraid that it would be damaged, so he didn't dare to use too much strength. Shan Yu trembled all over when his earlobe was touched like this. All of his senses were covered with a layer of fog. He suddenly felt that everything was unreal. Only the places that were touched could feel everything clearly. Unknowingly, Shan Yu was sitting in the man's arms. Her increasingly red earlobes were released and turned to the side of her neck. Following her delicate jawline, it finally fell to her lips. Attacking cities and seizing territories. Large peach blossoms bloomed before his eyes, white with a hint of pink, slowly filling his line of sight. His slender and fair fingers clutched his black robe tightly, leaving creases behind. The sun was setting in the west, and the orange light surrounded the two of them, giving them a hazy golden edge. Occasionally, there were a few soft whimpers, but they were blown away by the wind before they could reach their ears. Eunuch Meng led the palace servants to stand in the distance. He tactfully lowered his head, not daring to look. As expected by Shang Junlin, the next morning, there was an uproar because of Feng Jiai's matter. Even the fact that Shang Junlin brought Shan Yu to the palace examination was selectively ignored. In the eyes of the aristocratic officials, breaking the ancestral rule to recruit women as officials was much more serious than other matters. Your Majesty, you can't do this. There has been no precedent since ancient times. Miss Feng hid her identity to participate in the imperial examination. This is the crime of deceiving the emperor. Your Majesty, you can't set a precedent like this. If all the women in the world follow suit, wouldn't it be a mess? Someone who had seen Feng Jiai's answer sheet yesterday retorted, not all women can be so talented. So what? Since ancient times, which dynasty has a woman enter the imperial court as an official? Women should be content with their lot, obediently stay in the backyard to serve their parents-in-law, and have children. Lord Zhao, you are wrong. There are many capable women. How can you say such prejudiced words? Lord Zhao's neck stiffened. Am I wrong? If they were all content with their lot, how could today's incident happen? The argument in the front hall was endless, and Shang Junlin didn't say anything. Shan Yu shook the cup in his hand and said to Mu Shi, who was next to him, "You see, these people have nothing to say. They can only use the crime of deceiving the emperor as an excuse. They can't wait for your majesty to immediately execute this deviant woman." Shan Yu deliberately got up early today and waited for Shang Junlin in the back hall. He was also very curious to see what would happen in the morning court. Mu Shi heard the voices from the front hall and felt indignant. Why do they think that women are born to stay in the backyard and have children for men? That's why your majesty is right. Some of the ministers in the imperial court should be replaced. They were short-sighted and only knew how to form cliques and pursue personal interests. Keeping them would only be a waste of their salary. The argument in the front hall continued. Some of the officials, led by the Prime Minister, agreed with Feng Jiai's results, although they felt that the matter of letting women enter the imperial court as officials was debatable. The remaining members of the Qian family also stood on the Prime Minister's side. After the incident with Prince Li, Shang Junlin took the opportunity to promote many of his own people. The imperial court had changed a lot. A group of veteran officials, led by the aristocratic families, refused to budge. Not only did none of the aristocratic family's descendants enter the top 3, but a woman even took a spot. How could they accept this? Another reason was that their people happened to be in 4th place this time. If Feng Jiai was removed, their people would be able to take a spot in the top 3, and they would not lose too much face. Shang Junlin clearly knew what the aristocratic families were thinking. Seeing that they were about to quarrel with Yu Lai, he interrupted, "Look at all of you, all red in the face. You don't look like important officials at all." The main hall quieted down. Meng Chang, show them the second-place answers. You all said that women should not be officials. Why don't you take a look at the woman's essay before you speak? Eunuch Meng led the young eunuchs to distribute the prepared essays one by one. After reading, some of the officials who had objected to Feng Jiai's essay because of her identity as a woman lowered their heads in shame. Those who could keep their positions under Shang Junlin's rule were all knowledgeable. They could tell that the essay was well written. Some of the officials who did not want to admit that women were better than men changed their expressions, especially Lord Zhao, who wanted to belittle Feng Jiai. His face turned green and then white. No matter how much prejudice he had against women, he had to admit that the article in his hand was extremely well written. If he hadn't known beforehand that it was written by a woman, he wouldn't have dared to believe that such an article was written by a woman. Does anyone have anything to say now? Shang Junlin looked at the people below calmly. The officials lowered their heads and did not say anything. The Prime Minister was the first to stand out. "I think that this woman is very talented and should be hired." Immediately after, many people voiced their agreement. Lord Feng stood in the crowd, feeling both proud and distressed. He was proud that his daughter was so outstanding, but distressed because his daughter had to face everything on this path. There were already so many objections before she even started. When his daughter really entered the imperial court, how much pressure and strange looks would she receive? Even though they felt that Feng Jiai's essay was excellent, some officials were still unwilling to accept a woman as an official. Lord Zhao was one of them. He secretly exchanged glances with a few people and stood out. "Your Majesty, I agree that this essay is excellent, but there is no precedent of a woman entering the imperial court as an official. I hope that your Majesty will consider it carefully. I hope that your Majesty will follow the precedent and consider this matter carefully." Not long after, a row of officials stood out. "Oh. Then what do you think I should do?" Shang Junlin lowered his eyes, his voice unreadable. Lord Zhao said firmly, "I think that your Majesty should reward her, but you should also warn the world that there will not be a next time." When Mu Shi heard this, her hands paused. "Young master, this Lord Zhao is too optimistic. What's the difference between doing this and directly destroying Miss Feng? He just wants to destroy Miss Feng. Look at what he said before. He thinks that women should be trapped in the harem and that women don't deserve the same treatment as men. Just wait and see, when Miss Fong enters the imperial court, the first person she will deal with will be him. It wasn't a bad thing to have ulterior motives. Everyone had ulterior motives. Being selfish was the worst thing that could happen. De Huan didn't only belong to him. Ha, Shang Junlin chuckled. Warning the world? Lord Zhao, tell me, what did Fong Jai do that is against common decency and unforgivable to the point of warning the world? This. Lord Zhao hesitated. She participated in the imperial examination as a woman. Lord Zhao, as an important official of De Huan, have you seriously read the laws of De Huan? Shang Junlin lifted his eyelids and looked at him emotionlessly. Tell me, which law, which article states that women are not allowed to participate in the imperial examination? Under the heavy pressure, Lord Zhao's legs went soft and he knelt on the ground. This official. Since Lord Zhao isn't clear, it's better for you to go back and familiarize yourself with the laws of De Huan. There's no need to come to the imperial court before you can memorize everything. Your Majesty. At this moment, Lord Zhao clearly realized that he had violated Shang Junlin's taboo. It was Shang Junlin's ambiguous attitude from the start of the imperial court that gave him the wrong impression. One wrong step would lead to many wrong steps. Yes, how could he forget what kind of personality Shang Junlin had? How could he allow others to jump on his head? Lord Zhao slumped to the ground and realized that he was drenched in cold sweat. After dealing with Lord Zhao cleanly, the remaining officials who wanted to object didn't dare to act rashly. His cold gaze swept around the room. The few officials who opposed him just now lowered their heads, afraid that they would be punished. Since you didn't violate the law, do as you should. Regardless of gender, you are all citizens of De Huan. I don't want to hear people talk about gender in the future. All the officials became serious and said in unison, this official obeys. After the imperial court, Shang Junlin saw Shen Yu, who had been waiting for a long time. He hugged her in his arms and said, You must have waited for a long time. I let you sleep a bit more before coming. It's okay. It's interesting to listen to their quarrel. Shan Yu raised her head from the man's arms after listening to the officials' quarrel for the whole morning. Has this matter been dealt with? No one will make a fuss for the time being. When they are officially appointed, they will probably make a fuss again. Shang Junlin touched Shan Yu's hair on the back. As for the official position given to Fong Jai, they will probably make a fuss. Your Majesty won't be afraid of them. Shen Yu blinked her eyes. Your Majesty was really amazing just now. Shang Junlin seemed to have thought of something. He paused and said, You, tell me, how am I amazing? Chapter 76. Which part of your Majesty is not powerful? Shen Yu rolled his eyes. Your Majesty is naturally powerful in every aspect. Is that so? Shang Junlin held Shan Yu's waist with one hand and held his hand with the other. He played with it in his palm. Do you want to try? Try what? Shen Yu suddenly closed his mouth and reacted. Your Majesty, do you feel that you are different from before? How am I different? Shang Junlin thought about it seriously after hearing Shen Yu's words, but he didn't find anything wrong. Your Majesty didn't like to say this kind of thing before. Shan Yu narrowed his eyes. I didn't know how to say this before? Shang Junlin tightened his arms around Shen Yu's waist and leaned over to rub his cheek against Shen Yu. Does you like it? A layer of light pink appeared on Shen Yu's face. The man's body temperature was just like him, giving Shen Yu a fiery feeling. When their faces touched intimately, she could clearly feel the heat of another person. Shen Yu pursed her lips. Do your Majesty's officials know that you have such a side to you? Why would I want them to know? It's enough for you to know. Shang Junlin tilted his head slightly and left a kiss on Shen Yu's face. Shan Yu curled his fingers and didn't avoid it. He let the kiss move downwards. After hugging Shen Yu for a while, Shang Junlin's anger from the morning court session was extinguished. He sat down with Shen Yu in his arms. Yu has been waiting for me for so long. Are you hungry? Shen Yu didn't feel it until Shang Junlin mentioned it. He nodded and said, a little. Meng Chang, serve the meal. Eunuch Meng went out. Mu Shi poured tea for the two masters and retreated to the side. Shan Yu held the teacup and gently rubbed the sides of the teacup. How does your majesty plan to deal with Mr. Zhao? Shang Junlin held Shen Yu's hand that was holding the teacup and took a sip. Does he really think that I won't dare to touch him just because he has an aristocratic family behind him? Your majesty, that's my cup. You're not even willing to give me a sip of Yu's tea? Or is it that Yu dislikes me? Shang Junlin did not let go of the cup. Instead, he drank all the water in the cup. If your majesty wants to drink, of course you can. It's just a cup of water. Yu, don't be angry. Zhen drank your cup, so Zhen will compensate you with Zhen's cup. How about it? Shang Junlin took the empty cup from Shan Yu's hand, picked up another full cup and fed it to Shen Yu. Yu feeds Zhen once. Zhen will feed Yu once. It seemed that he would not stop until Shan Yu drank. Shan Yu had no choice but to take a sip. He could see that Shang Junlin was doing it on purpose. Fortunately, Shang Junlin knew that he should not tease Shen Yu too much. After feeding him once, he returned to normal. The aristocratic families are getting more ambitious. Lord Zhao is just a stepping stone for them. If they can force His Majesty to take a step back this time, they will be able to push their luck the next time and gain more benefits for the aristocratic families. If they can't, it's fine to give up an imperial censor. It won't hurt their foundation. Shan Yu learned about Mr. Zhao's identity in the back hall. As an imperial censor, it was his duty to persuade the emperor. However, this did not mean that he could influence the emperor's thoughts because of his own selfish desires. Yu is right. The aristocratic families have been hovering in the imperial court for a long time. It is very difficult to shake their foundation. Shang Junlin lowered his eyes and hid the murderous intent in his eyes. From his ascension to the throne until now, the aristocratic families had made many obstacles for him. However, because the previous emperor was muddle-headed, most of the power in the imperial court fell into the hands of the aristocratic families. Although there was an imperial examination, the aristocratic families had more resources. Most of the officials selected from the imperial examination were also related to the aristocratic families. Shang Junlin spent several years to cultivate a group of officials who were not related to the aristocratic families. Shan Yu covered Shang Junlin's hand. Your Majesty, you don't have to endure for much longer. Aren't the results of the imperial examination slapping the aristocratic families in the face? None of the top 3 in the imperial examination came from an aristocratic family. Didn't they boast that they were rich and superior? How could they not be compared to Zhang Huiqing, who was born in a humble family, and Feng Jai, who was a woman? Yu is right. No matter how deep their roots are in Dehuan, I will cut off those roots that suck the blood of Dehuan. Shang Junlin turned his hand and wrapped Shan Yu's hand in his palm. Their fingers intertwined and intertwined. As long as these people did not act too excessively, he used to turn a blind eye to them. However, now that he had Yu, in order to give Yu better protection, he would not allow any problems to happen to Dehuan. Not long after, Eunuch Meng brought the palace servants to put down the dishes sent by the imperial kitchen. Shen Yu took a look and saw that they were all his favorite dishes. Your Majesty, let's eat first. Okay. The two of them sat down and the palace servants retreated to the side. Shen Yu was not used to being served meals. Shang Junlin had been eating with him for a long time, so he gradually lost the habit of letting others serve him food. One was an emperor, and the other was a nobleman. These two people, who had noble statuses, ate like ordinary people. Eunuch Meng was an old man who had followed Shang Junlin for a long time. He saw with his own eyes that Shang Junlin had become more and more lively after Shan Yu entered the palace. He could not help but sigh in his heart. He had also imagined what it would be like if the emperor had someone in his imperial harem. No matter what, it would not be better than now. After the results of the court examination were out, the imperial court would send people to announce the results. At this time of the year, the people in the capital paid the most attention to the top 3. This year's results caused a lot of heated discussion. There was no other reason other than the fact that there was a woman on the list this time. Moreover, she came in second place. People's discussions about this matter could be heard everywhere in the restaurants and tea houses. A woman as an official? Isn't this a fantasy? How can a woman be an official? Compared to showing her face outside, it is better for her to stay at home and take care of her husband and children. What do you know? If she has this ability, why can't she serve the imperial court like a man? But did you notice that the noblemen who are more arrogant than the sky did not get any of the top 3? Isn't that right? Only the one who bragged about his genius persona got 4th place. If you ask me, the noblemen are too arrogant. They think that they can sit back and relax with a large number of secret manuals. They do not know that they will be left far behind by others if they work behind closed doors. A young man in white sitting not far away heard these words, and his expression became very ugly. The people who were dressed like noblemen beside him looked at each other secretly and did not dare to speak. They had only pulled their good friend out to relax after seeing that his results were not ideal. They did not expect to hear such words. Brother E. It is true that I didn't do well in the exam. You don't have to say more. The young man in white took a sip of wine with an ugly expression. Have you investigated the identity of those people? It was fine that he was defeated by He Chengyu. Anyway, they were both noblemen. What about Zhang Huiqing and Feng Jiayi? A person who came out of nowhere dared to climb over his head. Yes, Feng Jiayi is the only daughter of Lord Feng. Zhang Huiqing is just an abandoned orphan with no background. Brother Jianming, do you need us to do something? The young man in white, Yi Jianming, shook his head and his eyes were gloomy. Don't act rashly. Don't think that your official career will be smooth after being in the top 3. The real difficulty is still to come. Do you really think it is so easy to be an official? It was easy to control a person without any power behind him. Brother Jianming, don't worry. Of these 2 people, one entered the official career as a woman, and the other was inextricably linked to the cheating case some time ago. It is still uncertain whether they can successfully enter the imperial court. Yi Jianming grabbed the hand of the person who spoke. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by inextricably linked to the cheating case? Oh, about that, Brother Jianming, you were focused on preparing for the exam and may have missed the news. It is said that Zhang Huiqing was also approached by those people before the exam. But who knows if he really did anything except himself? Yes. Yi Jianming smiled maliciously. How can a person without any support get such a good result if there is nothing fishy about it? Achoo! Zhang Huiqing, who was talking, suddenly sneezed. He touched his forehead. Did I catch a cold because the temperature dropped recently? It is also possible that someone is talking about you. He Chengyu slowly picked up a piece of food with his chopsticks and put it into his mouth. Brother Chengyu, don't make fun of me. If I am really being talked about, Brother Chengyu should be the same as me. Zhang Huiqing looked distressed at the mention of this matter. Because there was a top scholar and a third-place scholar, the Yingxing Tower's doorstep was almost broken by people. Just dealing with the people who came to congratulate him was already very tiring, not to mention the wave after wave of matchmakers who came to propose marriage. It was a tradition in De Huan to find a son-in-law. He Chengyu and Zhang Huiqing were both dignified and had a clean family background. One was the top scholar, the other the third-place scholar, and neither of them was married. Countless families in the capital wanted to marry the 2 of them. Compared to He Chengyu, Zhang Huiqing's family background was a bit weaker. However, how many people who had thought of marriage would care about this? If one wanted a good family background, there were plenty of young masters from aristocratic families in the capital. Because of this, Zhang Huiqing's popularity had even surpassed He Chengyu's. At most, there were more than 20 matchmakers who came to him in one morning. Zhang Huiqing was so scared that he immediately closed the door and refused to see anyone. Seeing that he was really troubled, He Chengyu proposed to move out. Although the He family's headquarters were not in the capital, it was not difficult to get 1 or 2 houses. Zhang Huiqing thought about it and agreed. He decided to temporarily move out with He Chengyu. For some reason, he wrote a letter to Shen Yu and told him what happened during this time. Shen Yu finished reading Zhang Huiqing's letter and imagined the scene at that time. He couldn't help but laugh. He was scared by the enthusiasm of the people in the capital. I didn't expect that he would continue to write to you. Shang Junlin also finished reading the letter. There was a smile in his voice. I didn't expect it either. I thought that he would be scared by our true identity and not write to me for a while. Shen Yu also didn't expect to receive the letter so quickly. The letter mentioned their new address. Isn't His Majesty going out of the palace in 2 days? Why don't we go and take a look? Shang Junlin wanted to see the results of the Ministry of Works. The prescription was proposed by Shen Yu, so he naturally wanted to bring him along. Shang Junlin thought about it and agreed. He definitely didn't expect that we would go there. Shen Yu winked slyly. Zhang Huiqing, who had finally moved to a new house without being disturbed, breathed a sigh of relief. He relaxed and rested for 2 days. At this moment, he didn't know that he would have a big surprise soon. Chapter 77. The Ministry of Works had been very busy recently. With the money and the cement recipe, they had finally caught the attention of the emperor. They had to work hard to produce results. Since the emperor had pointed out that the road needed to be repaired, the focus would naturally be on that road. After discussing with his subordinates, the Minister of Works decided to enclose that road and not announce it until there were results. This was a decision made after careful consideration. It was too easy to crack the cement recipe, and they still didn't know where His Majesty would eventually use it. To be safe, they would not let this thing leak out before they received His Majesty's explicit order. As the main sponsor, Yan Zheng only knew that the road was being repaired. He didn't know how the encircled road was being repaired. Since his goal had been achieved, he didn't care much about it. After a period of hurried work, that road was finally repaired. The Minister of Works stood in front of the flat road and sighed. It's indeed much better than the previous one. The person in charge of repairing the road was also from the Ministry of Works. Seeing this, he walked over and said, "Sir, this kind of road can't absorb rainwater like the previous ones. If we want to build it on a large scale, there are still many problems to consider. I will submit a memorial to the Emperor. You have made a great contribution this time. I won't forget it." "Thank you, sir." Fu Xin couldn't hide the joy in his eyes. He was originally an unremarkable minor official in the Ministry of Works. If he hadn't done some research on road construction and received the favor of the Minister of Works, he wouldn't have had the chance to make a name for himself. The Minister of Works patted his shoulder and said, "Work hard. The Emperor values the cement very much. As for the problem you mentioned just now, you have to think of a solution when you go back. In 2 days, the Emperor will personally come to see the results. Whether or not you can seize this opportunity depends on you." Fu Xian excitedly kowtowed to the Minister of Works and said, "Thank you, sir, for your support." He understood that this was an opportunity given to him by the Minister of Works. Otherwise, he could have just brushed over what he had done. The higher-ups would only care about the final results and wouldn't pay attention to him. Time passed in a flash. Soon, it was the day to leave the palace. This time, because they had to go to see the road paved by the Ministry of Works, Shan Yu and Shang Junlin did not disguise themselves. They just changed into casual clothes and sat in the carriage to leave the palace. Speaking of which, we have taken this path many times. Shan Yu lifted a corner of the carriage curtain and looked out. Who would have thought that the Emperor and I have left the palace the most often was to go to the secret prison. Take you to other places in the future. Shang Junlin sat upright in the carriage, his eyes fixed on Shen Yu. "I'm just saying." Shen Yu put down the curtain and sat down beside Shang Junlin. "Your Majesty, will this road be completely rebuilt? If the Ministry of Works is successful, not only here, but also the entire capital. Not only the capital, but also the official roads in other places. The carriage moved very steadily. Shan Yu leaned on Shang Junlin's shoulder. If your majesty wants to repair all the official roads in Dahuan, the horseshoes will also need to be improved. This kind of road is indeed very convenient, but it will damage the horseshoes if it is used too much. There were horseshoes in Dahuan. Shan Yu had read in a book that the damage caused to the horseshoes by cement roads was much greater than the roads they were using now. When the time comes, let the people from the Ministry of Works study it together. Shang Junlin was interested in the benefits that the road would bring after it was repaired. As for other things, they could find ways to solve them. The carriage moved for a while and stopped. The Minister of Works, who had already received the news, came forward with his people and saluted together. Your Majesty, Your Majesty. Shang Junlin got off the carriage first, then helped Shen Yu down. No need to be so polite. Just take me there. Yes. The Minister of Works stepped forward and led the two of them to the place that was surrounded by people. Shang Junlin looked at the barrier that was taller than a person and smiled. What are you doing with these? I was worried that there would be some blind people who would make trouble, so I simply surrounded this area. Shan Yu looked around curiously. There were people guarding every distance. It was obvious that the Minister of Works was very attentive to this place. Your Majesty, don't worry. I had people put up a notice at the intersection and arranged for people to guard the intersection. I won't let the pedestrians walk for nothing. The Minister of Works explained carefully. I saw it just now. You did a good job. Shang Junlin put one hand behind his back and the other hand holding Shen Yu as they walked forward. After bypassing the messy area, a straight road came into view. The greenish-gray road gave people a clean and flat feeling. Shang Junlin had seen the appearance of a cement road before, but he was still deeply shocked at this moment. Different from the road in Shan Yu's manor, the road paved by the Ministry of Works was an entire road. The visual feeling was completely different from before. The people from the Ministry of Works brought a small carriage over. The Minister of Works walked to the side of the carriage and said, Your Majesty, I have already asked people to test it. On the same road, the carriage will not only shorten the time it takes to travel on the cement road, but it will also greatly reduce the bumps. Does you want to try it? Shang Junlin turned his head and asked in a low voice. Shan Yu nodded. The two of them got on the carriage. The driver was changed to the person brought by Shang Junlin. The carriage moved forward without the bumps from before. The carriage drove one round and returned to the original road. Shang Junlin did not say anything, but the expression on his face showed that he was very satisfied with this road. Your Majesty, I have another thing to report. The Minister of Works called the man who was waiting at the side. This is the person who has the most credit for paving the road. His name is Fu Xian. Fu Xian never expected that the Minister of Works would directly introduce him in front of the Emperor. He trembled and saluted. Your humble servant greets Your Majesty and Your Highness. Fu Xian, right? You have done well this time. Reward. The final result was better than expected. Shang Junlin was very happy. Fu Xian, your humble servant thanks Your Majesty for your grace. Shang Junlin, in the future, you will be responsible for the roads in other places. If you lack anything, just tell the Minister of Works. Fu Xian, thank you, Your Majesty. Fu Xian did not expect to be directly entrusted with such an important task. He was excited, but there was a faint uneasiness in his heart. He was just an ordinary person. Could he really fulfill the expectations of the Emperor? Your Majesty, I have another thing to say. Fu Xian thought of the important matter and quickly said, It is about the problem of water accumulation. This new road cannot absorb the rainwater that falls to the ground. If we want to pave a large area of this road in the city, we need to replan the problem of water accumulation in the capital. Shen Yu did not expect that someone had already realized this point. He asked with interest, Since you have brought it up, do you have any good ideas to solve this problem? In reply to Your Highness, I do have some ideas. However, whether they can be implemented or not, I have to test them before I know, Fu Xian replied. If this matter is given to you, do you have the confidence to do it well? Shen Yu liked Fu Xian's serious attitude. I do not dare to guarantee, but I will do my best to do it, Fu Xian replied firmly. Very good. I have some small suggestions here. When the time comes, I can give you a reference. As for how to do it, you can discuss it with the people of the Ministry of Works. There is also the matter of the horseshoes, Shang Junlin added. You should have noticed that this kind of road causes more wear and tear on the horseshoes. The people of the Ministry of Works had noticed it. However, because the horses did not run back and forth many times, they did not take it seriously. Only when the emperor brought it up did they become serious. It is my negligence. I will have people study it. The Minister of Works bowed his head. The use of cement is far more than this. You can expand your imagination and see if there are other places where it can be used. Yes. After explaining the matters here, Shang Junlin left with Shen Yu. Her Majesty is not as scary as we thought, someone in the crowd said in a low voice. Her Majesty is not a scourge. Of course, she is not scary. The Minister of Works glanced at the person who spoke and secretly said, You have not seen Her Majesty when Guijun is not here. She is like a different person today. Guijun is also different from the rumors. He is handsome and elegant. Obviously, he is a good match for Her Majesty. Moreover, Guijun knows a lot. He has considered what we did not consider. Unlike the rumors. Be careful with your words, the Minister of Works frowned and interrupted the discussion. Do not talk about this matter. Go back to work. Although the discussion was interrupted, the image of Shen Yu and Shang Junlin had changed in the eyes of the people. In the past, he had not met them and could only know them from the mouths of others. Now that he met them, he knew that there was a big difference between the rumors and the truth. Shen Yu sat in the carriage and recalled the events of his previous life. In his previous life, Shan Qingran also took out cement. However, this thing was firmly in the hands of the King of Yu. It brought him huge profits, but it was not really used to benefit the people. Shan Qingran knew a lot of things. In the palace, there was also Shan Yu. These two people came from the same place. Perhaps he could ask more things that would be beneficial to the development of Dahuan. What is a Yu thinking about? Seeing that Shan Yu had not spoken since he got on the carriage, Shang Junlin pinched the soft flesh on his face. Shan Yu was already used to being pinched by him from time to time. His thoughts returned and he said, I am thinking about Shen Qingran. That brother of yours? What is there to think about? Shang Junlin did not have a good impression of Shen Qingran. Shan Yu was silent for a moment and said, Actually, the reason I know about cement is also related to Shen Qingran. Does your Majesty know what he said in the letter he wrote to the King of Yu? Although he did not know why Shen Yu suddenly asked this question, Shang Junlin still replied, Why would I read his letter? That letter was kept by the King of Yu. If a Yu wants to know, I can send the hidden dragon guards to investigate. Your Majesty, after we return to the palace, I want to see Shen Yu. If you want to see her, just ask her to come to Yuzhong Palace to see you. What is wrong with you today? You have not thought of her since just now. I thought of something. Shen Yu shook his head and threw his chaotic thoughts to the back of his mind. Your Majesty, are we arriving soon? If Shen Yu did not want to say, Shang Junlin would not force him. Yes, we will arrive soon. Jiang Huiqing was moving his books to the courtyard to bask in the sun when he saw a carriage coming from afar. He shouted into the house, Brother Cheng Yu, do you have a friend coming today? No, Cheng Yu's voice came from the house. What's wrong? There is a carriage coming this way. Jiang Huiqing scratched his face. They are not here to look for us, right? As soon as he finished speaking, the carriage began to slow down and finally stopped at the entrance of the courtyard. Who is it? No one said they were coming today. Jiang Huiqing was full of questions. Brother Cheng Yu, come and see if you know them. Seeing two familiar figures getting off the carriage and walking towards them, Jiang Huiqing opened his eyes wide and the rest of his words were stuck in his throat. Why did His Majesty and Guijun come here without saying anything? Chapter 78. Jiang Huiqing would never have thought that their first meeting after knowing their identities would take place under such circumstances. He thought that their interactions in the past would come to an abrupt end after knowing their true identities. In the future, when they met, Shang Junlin would be the high and mighty emperor, while Shan Yu would be the noble emperor in the harem. He would be a conscientious subject, just like every other official in Dehuan. Who would have thought that after he made such preparations, the two would suddenly appear in front of the small courtyard where he and He Chengyu lived to avoid the matchmaker. For a moment, Jiang Huiqing didn't know what expression to make. The shock and fright in his heart had reached an extreme point. He stared blankly at the two people walking in, his mind blank. He Chengyu heard the sound of people talking outside stopping halfway. He was worried that something had happened, so he quickly put down what he was doing and walked out. At a glance, he saw Shang Junlin and Shen Yu walking towards him. He Chengyu's footsteps paused. He knew why Jiang Huiqing suddenly lost his voice. He looked towards Jiang Huiqing's direction. Sure enough, he was standing there in a daze, looking straight at the two people who were approaching him. He didn't react at all. Shen Yu also saw Jiang Huiqing's reaction. He was happy in his heart. In his previous life, this subordinate of his was young but mature. He had layers of secrets in his heart. Although he acted calmly, he always lacked vitality. If it wasn't for the fact that he had to do something in his heart, Shan Yu felt that he could leave this world at any time. In this life, Jiang Huiqing was different. He had like-minded friends. Shan Yu didn't know if Jiang Huiqing had met He Chengyu in his previous life. In this life, they knew each other and met each other. He Chengyu had always been protecting him, whether intentionally or unintentionally. In addition, the imperial examinations had been smoothly completed and he had obtained a good ranking. Now, Jiang Huiqing could be said to be full of vitality, in high spirits, and also had some of the exuberance that a young man should have. Amused by Jiang Huiqing's expression, Shen Yu laughed and said, "What's wrong? Are you so surprised to see us visit you? Can't you even speak properly? How is this a surprise?" It was more like a shock. Because of Shen Yu's words, Jiang Huiqing came back to his senses. At this moment, He Chengyu walked over and said, "You two have come from afar. I apologize for not going out to meet you. It's our fault for not taking care of you. It was on a whim. We heard that you've moved to a new place, so we came to congratulate you." Eunuch Meng, who was also dressed in casual clothes, came forward with a congratulatory gift. "It's just a small token of appreciation. Brother He and Huiqing, please accept it," Shen Yu said. "Your presence brings light to my humble abode." He Chengyu took the things from Eunuch Meng's hands and turned to the side. "Please come in." Yes, come in quickly." Jiang Huiqing's brain finally returned to normal. Shan Yu and Shang Junlin walked in front, looking at the small courtyard as they walked. The small courtyard was secluded. Although it didn't occupy a large area, the decorations were very exquisite. There weren't many expensive decorations, but everything was elegant, showing the background of an aristocratic family. "Huiqing seems to be surprised that we've come." The four of them sat down, and Shen Yu spoke first. "I won't hide it from Gue Jun. Outside, you can call me and Lin as usual," Shen Yu interrupted Jiang Huiqing and looked at Shang Junlin. "Isn't that right, Lin?" Shang Junlin nodded. "There's no need to stand on ceremony outside." Jiang Huiqing wasn't an old-fashioned person. He changed the way he addressed them. "I won't hide it from Brother Yu. I really didn't expect to see you here." "I guess so. Lin and I were just about to leave the palace, so we came to see you on the way." Shan Yu blinked. "We also wanted to try the delicacies that you praised so much." What Shan Yu said was what Jiang Huiqing mentioned in the letter. Their chef came from Jiangnan and was good at cooking. It was different from the taste of the capital, especially the desserts. Jiang Huiqing remembered that Shan Yu liked sweet things, so he specifically mentioned it in the letter. "We came out to taste it ourselves, so you don't have to think of a way to send it to the palace," Shan Yu added. Jiang Huiqing said at the end of the letter that if Shan Yu wanted to taste it, he could ask the chef in the residence to make more and send it to him. To be honest, when I wrote the letter, I didn't think it through. I only realized that it was inappropriate after I sent the letter. Some time ago, writing letters had become a habit. When Jiang Huiqing wrote this letter, he subconsciously forgot about Shen Yu and Shang Junlin's current status, so his tone was as casual as usual. I'm very happy that you can use your usual tone to write to me. In the past, I was trapped in the Marquis Fu and I didn't have many friends. Huiqing, in the future, you can get along with me like before. I'm grateful that the two of you don't mind. Huiqing boldly agrees. Other than brother Cheng Yu, I'm only familiar with brother Lin and brother Yu. To be more accurate, he was more familiar with Shen Yu. Jiang Huiqing's animal instincts told him from the beginning that Shang Junlin was not to be trifled with. So he never blindly tried to get close to Shang Junlin. In these days of getting along, he deeply realized that Shang Junlin's good temper and gentleness were only for Shen Yu. A portion of the servants in the Fu were old people who had served He Cheng Yu in Jiangnan. Seeing that their master finally had a friend come to visit, and that he had come for the Fu's Jiangnan dishes, they immediately ordered the kitchen to prepare well so that the guest would be satisfied. Shan Yu and Shang Junlin were not in a hurry to return to the palace. Seeing that Shan Yu was really curious about the dishes in He Cheng Yu's Fu, Shang Junlin took the initiative to stay for dinner. He secretly planned to send a few imperial chefs who knew how to cook different dishes to Yuzhong Palace after returning to the palace. The small banquet was very enjoyable. Under Shan Yu's intention, the two sides quickly returned to the previous atmosphere. The chefs in He Cheng Yu's Fu were indeed as Jiang Huiqing said. They were good at cooking, especially the various kinds of desserts. They were small and exquisite, sweet but not greasy, and had excellent taste. Shen Yu liked them very much. Almost half of the desserts on the table went into Shan Yu's stomach. If it wasn't for Shang Junlin watching, he could eat even more. As expected, the result of indulging was that Shan Yu ate until he was full. After returning to Yuzhong Palace, Shan Yu was still not feeling well. Shang Junlin supported him to take a walk in the courtyard. As they walked, he said, "I shouldn't have been soft-hearted and let you eat so much." Several times along the way, Shang Junlin was defeated by Shan Yu's slightly pleading eyes. When he saw Shan Yu eating happily and contentedly, he was soft-hearted. The result of indulging was that Shan Yu felt so uncomfortable that he couldn't fall asleep in the middle of the night. The moon was in the middle of the sky, and moonlight shone on the earth. Everything in sight was covered with a layer of cold silver. In the quiet night, there were occasional sounds of insects. After entering the palace, Shan Yu's life was extremely regular. He rarely saw the scenery of Yuzhong Palace so late at night. He looked at the full moon hanging high in the night sky and sighed, "If it weren't for my perseverance, I wouldn't be able to see such a beautiful scenery with your majesty. Your majesty, look at how round the moon is tonight." It was like a jade plate hanging in the darkness, emitting a faint silver glow, illuminating the entire night. "A Yu is always right." Shang Junlin held Shan Yu's hand and slowly walked on the path. A gentle breeze blew over, bringing with it waves of coolness. The two of them would occasionally whisper a few words, enjoying a rare moment of tranquility. The next day, Shang Junlin summoned Imperial Physician Gu to take Shan Yu's pulse. After a period of recuperation, Shan Yu's body had greatly improved. Imperial Physician Gu took Shan Yu's pulse once every 2 days, but gradually reduced it to once every 7 days. Those bitter medicines were also eliminated. After Imperial Physician Gu took Shen Yu's pulse, he took back his hand and said, "Your Majesty has some indigestion. This subject will prescribe a prescription. After 2 doses of medicine, there won't be any major problems." Shen Yu never thought that one day he would take medicine for this reason. He lowered his hands and pulled down his sleeves, asking, "The medicine this time won't be the same as last time, right?" Shan Yu was really afraid of the medicine prescribed by Imperial Physician Gu last time. He didn't want to taste that indescribable taste again. Imperial Physician Gu's eyes faintly contained a smile, saying, "Your Majesty, rest assured. It won't be that bad." After taking Shan Yu's pulse, Imperial physician Gu didn't stay any longer. After giving some instructions, he got up and left. Mu Shi took the medicine to decoct. She was always in charge of the medicine that Shan Yu needed to take. She didn't ask anyone else to do it. Shan Yu wrote down some information about the use of cement based on his memories from his previous life. He planned to organize it and let Shang Junlin bring it to the Ministry of Works. What is you writing? After the morning court, Shang Junlin directly went to Yuzhong Palace. Now, other than the imperial study and the main hall where morning court was held, Shang Junlin spent most of his time in Yuzhong Palace. In the beginning, the people in the palace were surprised by how much Shan Yu was favored. Now, they felt that it wasn't strange for His Majesty to do anything for His Majesty. I plan to organize these for the Ministry of Works and see if they can make more things. Shen Yu spread out the written content in front of Shang Junlin. Shang Junlin finished reading and pondered, "This cement is more useful than I thought. Your Majesty, come over and let me lean on you." After organizing the content, Shan Yu didn't want to move when Shang Junlin came back. Shang Junlin sat down as he wished, and Shen Yu immediately leaned over. Shang Junlin hugged him and slowly said, "A Yu's gift this time is more useful than I thought. How should I repay a Yu?" "Shen Yu, I just proposed some ideas. The Ministry of Works is responsible for the implementation. Instead of repaying me, why don't Your Majesty make things more convenient for the Ministry of Works?" "Shang Junlin, what ideas does you have?" "Shen Yu, I'm just thinking about what the Minister of Works said last time. The Ministry of Works is different from other places. It needs people who know all kinds of skills. Your Majesty, why don't you set up a special exam to select talents for the Ministry of Works? If a country wanted to develop and grow, it needed to develop in all aspects, especially in the area of innovation." This was the principle that Shan Yu understood from that book. This method can be considered. The Ministry of Works is indeed understaffed. I will summon the ministers to discuss this later. Shang Junlin raised his hand and pinched Shen Yu's face. "What about a Yu? A Yu doesn't want anything? Your Majesty has already given me a lot. I just proposed some ideas. Whether they will be beneficial to Dahuan in the end will depend on the future. If Your Majesty really wants to give me something, just treat it as you owe me a request. It won't be too late for Your Majesty to agree to my request when it is proven that these ideas are beneficial to Dahuan." "Okay." As they spoke, Mu Shi brought over the decocted medicine. Shan Yu frowned when he saw the pitch-black medicine. Shang Junlin took the medicine from Mu Shi's hands with amusement. "You can leave first." Mu Shi bowed her head and left. Shang Junlin approached with the medicine. Shan Yu immediately retreated. He couldn't be blamed. Looking at Shang Junlin's posture, he thought of the strange medicine from before. He didn't know what kind of mood Shang Junlin had when he fed it to him. "A Yu, why are you hiding?" Shang Junlin's smile disappeared. He blocked his back with one hand, preventing him from continuing to retreat. "Didn't Imperial Physician Gu say that this medicine is not as bad as the previous one?" Chapter 79. It turns out that Imperial Physician Gu also knows that his medicine tastes bad. Unable to retreat, Shan Yu could only let Shang Junlin come closer. "Once you recover, you won't need to drink these medicines anymore." Shan Yu had to drink all kinds of medicine every day. Shang Junlin was also very distressed. If not, he would not allow Shen Yu to eat sweets. "Your Majesty, you can only coax me with these words." He knew his own body. If it could not be cured, he would have to drink all kinds of medicine for the rest of his life. "I will find someone to cure you. If no one in Dahuan can do it, I will go to other countries to find someone. The world is so big. I don't believe that I can't find a way to cure you." These words were not just empty words. Shang Junlin had already sent people to look for famous doctors. He did not tell Shen Yu. He just wanted to tell him after he was sure of the matter. He did not want to be happy for nothing. If you put a person in your heart, you will involuntarily pay attention to everything about that person. Shen Yu's illness had almost become Shang Junlin's sore point. He asked Imperial Physician Gu for details. Imperial Physician Gu said that if it could not be cured, he could not guarantee that Shen Yu's life would not be in danger. Since ancient times, it was very difficult for people with insufficient health to die of old age. Even if he was the emperor, he could not reverse life and death. Shang Junlin could not accept this fact. He sent a large number of people to look for famous doctors. As long as Shen Yu could be cured, he was willing to pay any price. All of this was done behind Shen Yu's back. Shen Yu reached out and touched Shang Junlin's forehead, smoothing out the wrinkles between his eyebrows. Your Majesty, don't worry. I will take good care of myself. This illness has been with me for so many years. To be honest, I have already gotten used to it. If I really get better one day, I might not be able to adapt. Don't frown, I will obediently drink the medicine. Shan Yu leaned closer to Shang Junlin and drank the medicine in the bowl in one gulp. He showed the empty bowl to Shang Junlin and said, I finished it. After saying that, Shen Yu smacked his lips. Imperial Physician Gu really didn't lie. This medicine is much better than the last time. Except for that one time, the medicine prescribed by Imperial Physician Gu was not bad. Shan Yu would only complain in front of Shang Junlin. If Shang Junlin was not around, he could drink the medicine no matter how bitter it was. Just as Shang Junlin was about to say something, Shen Yu opened his mouth to stop him. Although this medicine is not bitter, I still need to eat candied fruit. Your Majesty, please bring me some. Seeing that Shan Yu was lazy and didn't want to move, Shang Junlin had to get up and bring over the candied fruit that had been prepared. I need your Majesty to feed me. Shen Yu leaned on Shang Junlin, like a chick waiting for a big bird to feed it. Shang Junlin couldn't resist Shen Yu's coquettish tone. After feeding Shen Yu the candied fruit and water, his depressed mood because of Shen Yu's illness was swept away. Does your Majesty have anything else to do this afternoon? Seeing that Shang Junlin had returned to normal, Shen Yu's mood also relaxed. I have to summon the Prime Minister and the Minister of Works for a meeting later. Other than that, there is nothing else. Shang Junlin stroked Shen Yu's soft long hair. I plan to summon Shen Yu to Yuzhong Palace. Your Majesty, do you want to come with me, or does you want me to stay? As your Majesty wishes. It's rare to hear such words from a Yu's mouth. I will accompany you first. After the matter here is settled, I will summon the Prime Minister and the others to the palace. The two of them made a decision and asked Eunuch Meng to bring Shen Yu over from Consort Dowager's palace. Consort Dowager lived in a relatively remote place. After Shang Junlin ascended the throne, he originally wanted to arrange a good palace for her, but Consort Dowager herself refused. She was used to fighting in the former emperor's harem, so she just wanted to spend the rest of her days in peace. Shan Yu had lived a fearful life in the dark prison. After she was sent to the imperial concubine's palace, she was much more well-behaved. She was not really a fool. After she came to her senses, she knew that she was in an ancient world where people's lives were not taken seriously and imperial power was supreme. It was not like those romance novels where love was supreme. After all, she came from the modern world and knew more new things than the people in the ancient palace. After living in Consort Dowager's palace for a while, she gradually gained Consort Dowager's favor. Sister Shen Yu, Consort Dowager wants you to go over. A young girl's clear voice sounded from outside the door. Shen Yu folded the clothes in her hands. I'm coming. Shen Yu didn't dare to delay. She hurriedly put down the matter at hand and rushed to where Consort Dowager was. Someone from Yuzhong Palace has come and wants you to go over. When Consort Dowager saw her, she had a smile on her face. After you go, if Gue Jun asks you anything, you have to answer well. If Gue Jun didn't act, you wouldn't be working in my palace right now. Newbie knows. Consort Dowager, don't worry. Newbie was insensible in the past, but it won't happen again. Shen Yu obediently replied. Consort Dowager called her in front of her and gave her a few words of advice before saying, Go. Shan Yu followed behind the young eunuch and walked out of the secluded palace. The nervousness and fear in her heart were gradually magnified. She only knew that her previous actions had violated many taboos after being lectured by the old imperial concubine. If it wasn't for the intervention of the noble lord, it wouldn't be too much for her to be executed. She had stayed in Consort Dowager's palace for a while. At the beginning, she didn't accept her fate. Why can he do it but I can't? Now, she couldn't think of anything. Only she knew how she felt. The journey from Consort Dowager's residence to Yuzhong Palace wasn't long, but it wasn't short either. Along the way, Shen Yu thought of many things, but it also seemed that she didn't think of anything. When the little eunuch leading the way stopped, she realized that they had arrived at Yuzhong Palace. The lofty palace gate came into view. This time, Shen Yu's state of mind was completely different from last time. Your Majesty, what's the situation with Shen Yu now? After handing her over to Shang Junlin, Shen Yu didn't ask about this matter. Shang Junlin played with Shen Yu's fingers. Shen Yu's fingers were white and slender, like the best mutton fat jade. They weren't soft like a woman's fingers. Shang Junlin liked Shen Yu's hands very much, especially when these hands grabbed his clothes or held him. Some images flashed through his mind. Shang Junlin coughed softly and retracted his thoughts. When I sent her over, I told the imperial concubine to properly discipline her. Later on, the imperial concubine also sent me a message. She has changed a lot from before. Yu will know when he sees her later. They didn't have to wait long before Eunuch Meng came in with Shen Yu. This servant greets your Majesty, your Majesty. Shen Yu bowed politely. You may rise. Shang Junlin wouldn't make things difficult for a little girl. Shen Yu looked at the girl whose words and actions were very different from before. She found that she was really different from before. From the moment she came in until now, she didn't look sideways and didn't show any reluctance in her actions. How have you been recently? Shen Yu asked warmly. Because of the previous matter, Shan Yu had a better impression of Shen Yu. She carefully glanced at the emperor sitting next to Shen Yu. Seeing that there was no displeasure on his face, she slowly breathed a sigh of relief. This servant has been living very well. Consort Dowager treats this servant very well. The people in Consort Dowager's palace are also very easy to get along with. If you're not used to it, you don't have to call yourself this servant. Shen Yu knew that in the world before Shan Yu came, everyone was equal. The rules here were very different. If Shan Yu could be used by her and didn't have any disloyalty, he didn't mind giving her some convenience. Hearing this, Shan Yu looked at Shen Yu in surprise. She was born and raised in the modern world. She was really not used to this world where she had to kneel here and there and call herself this servant. But now, she also learned a phrase, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. There weren't many rules in Consort Dowager's palace. Consort Dowager didn't like the palace servants kneeling here and there. Except for calling herself this servant, Shan Yu felt that her life in Consort Dowager's palace was more comfortable than before. I called you here because I have something to discuss with you. The Ministry of Works is planning to pave cement roads. If you have any new ideas, you can bring them up. De Huan is about to have its first female official. If you want, you can also change your identity. Cement. A female official. Shen Yu looked at Shen Yu in shock. She couldn't tell which one shocked her more. She was also a transmigrator. Shen Yu had already taken out the cement? Also, was it Shen Yu's idea that a female official was also proposed by her? Yes. Shen Yu leaned forward slightly. You can think about it. Is there anything you can do for De Huan? As long as you can make a contribution to De Huan, you can change the current situation. The world is so big. It's a pity to stay in the palace forever. What do you think? Shen Yu's voice was very soft, with a hint of imperceptible coaxing. Little by little, it drilled into Shen Yu's heart. She couldn't help but think, was she really willing to do nothing for the rest of her life? After transmigrating, did she have to be a palace maid for the rest of her life? She was muddle-headed in her previous life. Now that she had a second life, did she still want to live the same life as before? I did such a terrible thing in the past. I even wanted to destroy you. Why are you still willing to give me a chance? Shan Yu couldn't figure it out. She knew the current situation. In the past, she was a bastard. Because of this, she couldn't understand Shen Yu's actions. Because you also came from that place. Therefore, I am willing to give you a chance. As long as you are willing to use the knowledge you have to build the Huan. Shan Yu looked at Shen Yu. There seemed to be a flowing light in her dark eyes. It was tempting to step in. Shen Yu stood blankly for a while. Suddenly, she knelt down and bowed to Shen Yu. She said, I have made many mistakes in the past. I also know that a verbal apology is useless. I am willing to use the rest of my life to make up for the mistakes I have made. Shen Yu wasn't someone who would easily forgive others for their mistakes. He gave Shen Yu a chance. First, Shen Yu had really changed. Second, Shen Yu's appearance was similar to his. He always felt that Shen Yu's life experience was related to him. Third, Shen Yu's origin. This was also the most important point. Shen Yu's understanding of that world was only through that book and Shen Qingran. After all, he was different from Shen Yu, who had really lived in that world. He was full of curiosity about that world. He wanted to know more about that world. It would be better if he could transfer some of his knowledge to De Huan. For example, the previous flood control method and cement. After speaking, Shen Yu asked Shen Yu to go back and think about it carefully. He had already planted a seed in Shen Yu's heart. He just needed to wait for this seed to germinate and grow strong. Shang Junlin summoned the Prime Minister and the Minister of Works. He told them about Shen Yu's idea. If this matter was to be implemented, it would take a long time. He just wanted to give them a heads up. When they returned to Yuzhong Palace, the sky was already dark. Shen Yu was sitting on the soft couch reading a book. Shang Junlin walked over and hugged Shen Yu in his arms. He held Shen Yu's hand that was by her side. Yu seems to be very tolerant of Shen Yu. I'm more concerned about her background. However, to be able to change Shen Yu's character, Concubine Dowager must have put in a lot of effort. Her fingers were gently pressed. Shen Yu relaxed and leaned in Shang Junlin's arms. Did your Majesty already expect this? Is that why you sent Shen Yu to Concubine Dowager? I originally thought that I might be able to find some clues about Duke Bei's wife from her. That's why I asked Concubine Dowager to help. Shang Junlin's 5 fingers intertwined with Shen Yu's. Yu underestimated the person who could survive in the former emperor's harem. Concubine Dowager had been in the former emperor's harem for so many years. She had seen all kinds of people. Shen Yu was really nothing to her. Fortunately, Your Majesty's harem is clean. Otherwise... Shen Yu thought for a moment. If before entering the palace, Shang Junlin's harem was not empty, would he still agree to enter the palace? Perhaps he would agree. However, his relationship with Shang Junlin would definitely not be like this. There's no such possibility. Shang Junlin pinched Shen Yu's chin and made her turn to look at him. He lowered his head and planted a kiss on Shen Yu's lips. I don't like those things. It's enough to have a you in this life. Chapter 80. I believe in Your Majesty. Shen Yu naturally believed in Shang Junlin. Regardless of whether Shang Junlin would change in the future, at least in the past and present, he was as he said. As for the future, Shen Yu did not want to think too much. As if sensing his concerns, Shang Junlin's kiss moved to the peak of his lips. Yu, my heart will never contain anyone other than you. Before meeting Shen Yu, his heart was originally desolate. It was the arrival of Shen Yu that made his heart bloom. This heart full of flowers would only bloom for Shen Yu. As if tasting something delicious, he traced his lips little by little. The light color was gradually dyed a deep red. The tip of his tongue opened his teeth and nimbly explored the warm area. Your Majesty. Shen Yu grabbed the black clothes beside him and welcomed Shang Junlin's storm-like kiss. All of his senses were lost. Shan Yu closed his eyes slightly and moved the tip of his tongue slightly. Shang Junlin's movements paused. Then, as if he was encouraged by something, his attacks became more and more fierce. It was a chase, but also a game of chess. Back and forth, no one was willing to give in easily. Shang Junlin's hand that was pinching Shan Yu's chin had unknowingly moved to the back of Shan Yu's head. He tightly grasped Shan Yu's movements and did not give him any room to retreat. The storm was about to end. Shang Junlin's breath stopped at Shan Yu's lips. Both of their breaths were a little unstable. Shang Junlin was unwilling to let go of Shen Yu and calmed his breathing in the current position. "You is so passionate tonight." Shang Junlin sighed softly. "Your Majesty is also very excited." Shan Yu had already clearly felt it. Just now, he was completely focused on the kiss. When he came back to his senses, he realized how dangerous their current position was. "Zhen won't do anything. Just let Zhen hug you for a while." As he spoke, he used his lips to lightly touch Shan Yu's tender skin. After using up a lot of energy, Shan Yu felt lazy and didn't want to move. It wasn't the first time he faced such a situation, but the atmosphere this time was different from the previous times. Shan Yu couldn't describe it, but it didn't stop him from wanting to stay with Shang Junlin. Shan Yu was sent back to Consort Dowager's residence by the people of Yuzhong Palace. Consort Dowager received the news and summoned Shen Yu. Why does Imperial Concubine Dowager care so much about Shen Yu? The old mama who served Imperial Concubine Dowager was puzzled. People like lively children when they are old. "Do you think Shen Yu is not likable now?" Concubine Dowager slowly admired her nails. "Look, this child knows a lot of new things." Concubine Dowager's hands were well maintained. Her nails were painted with decorative nail polish, which made her hands even more beautiful. The old mama poured a cup of tea for Concubine Dowager. "She is indeed more likable than when she came." Concubine Dowager is really good at teaching people. You can even change Shan Yu's strange temperament. She is young, so it's normal for her to take detours. His Majesty sent her to me and asked me to help discipline her. She must still be useful. If she is really that kind of person who can't be educated, I'm too lazy to get involved in this mess. Concubine Dowager picked up the tea and took a sip. "That's right. We have seen all kinds of people these years. His Majesty is a good person. He always remembers Concubine Dowager's kindness. If it weren't for His Majesty, we wouldn't be able to live such a relaxed life." The old mama sighed. She had been serving Concubine Dowager for a long time. Her master had been with the late emperor since she was in seclusion. It was not easy for her to survive the bloody storm. Moreover, her master was not the kind of person who liked to fight for power and profit. This kind of peaceful life was really good for them. I helped him because it was not easy for a child like him to live in the harem. In addition, the late empress had protected me a lot. After that kind of thing happened, it was very difficult for a child like him to live in the harem. Besides, I didn't do much. It was his own hard work. He is willing to remember my kindness because he has kindness in his heart. But these are not reasons for us to force him to repay me. Do you understand? Concubine Dowager's tone was light, but the meaning behind her words was very heavy. I understand. The old mama's heart trembled. She knew that some rumors had reached Concubine Dowager's ears. I will strictly watch the people in the harem and not let them have any disloyalty. Yes. Concubine Dowager couldn't help but think of many years ago. When the late empress was still alive, the late emperor and the late empress were deeply in love. As the only son of the two, Shang Junlin could be said to be the true god's favored son. When she went to the empress's palace to pay her respects, she could often see Shang Junlin, who was trying hard to act like a little adult, studying by the empress's side. At that time, who would have thought that the most favored son of the Middle Palace would one day be sent to hell? After the late empress died, the late emperor, under the instigation of the treacherous courtiers, did not care about their many years of marriage. He killed more than 100 people of the empress's maternal family. In one night, Shang Junlin lost his mother, lost the strong support of his family, and did not have the ability to protect himself. She wanted to take this child over and raise him, but the late emperor gave a strict order that no one was allowed to take care of him. At that time, she did not have any status in the harem and could only secretly help him. When she saw this child again, she could not see any shadow of the past from him. He was malicious and ruthless, like an avenger returning from hell. She did not know what happened between the late emperor and the late empress, but it must be very serious if the late emperor could kill the late empress's whole family overnight and take away all the favor of his only son. Unfortunately, the insiders were all dealt with. She secretly investigated for a long time, but found no clues. Concubine Dowager, Miss Shen Yu is here. Concubine Dowager sighed and collected her thoughts. Let her in. After Shan Yu came in, she respectfully bowed to Concubine Dowager. She respected the person who gave her a new life from the bottom of her heart. Concubine Dowager called her to the front, took her hand and patted it. Seeing that you came back in one piece, I am relieved. Concubine Dowager. Shan Yu's heart suddenly warmed. She had almost never received the care of the elders since she was a child. Beside Concubine Dowager, she felt for the first time what it was like to be carefully taught by the elders. Feeling Shan Yu's attachment, Concubine Dowager smiled softly. His Majesty and Gue Jun asked me something, but I don't know what to do. Shan Yu omitted the part about time travel and summarized what had happened in Yuzhong Palace. Concubine Dowager heard Concubine Dowager's words. This shows that His Majesty and Gue Jun value you. I also heard that His Majesty intends to use female officials. This is an opportunity. I know you have a lot of strange ideas, but it is a waste of your talent to be trapped in my remote palace. Go ahead and do it. You are still young and have a lot of opportunities. The world is unfair to women, so it is hard for His Majesty and Gue Jun to consider women. Yes, women should not be the accessories of men. Shen Yu agreed with this point. In the backward ancient times, as an emperor, he was willing to face the value of women. Shen Yu admired this point. Concubine Dowager, I am a little worried. Can I really do it well? Shan Yu hesitated. It was not that she did not want to. If there was such an opportunity, who would be willing to live a muddle-headed life? However, she was a little afraid. If she really agreed, could she bear such a heavy burden? Good child, don't be afraid. Since His Majesty and Gue Jun proposed it, they will naturally help you. If you believe in me, I am also willing to do my best. Everything has a process from nothing to something. There is nothing to worry about. Yes. Shan Yu nodded heavily. Shen Yu received Shen Yu's reply the next day. Shang Junlin went to the morning court. Shan Yu closed her eyes and lay on the bed for a while before sitting up. Shan Yu put clean clothes on the side and slowly put them on. When she got out of bed, she pulled her leg. Fortunately, she did not directly sit back down. Last night, she should not have been obsessed and promised Shang Junlin to help him with her leg. Shan Yu frowned when she felt uncomfortable. Except for that time in the bathhouse, this was the second time. Although they did not really do it, Shen Yu still could not ignore that strange feeling. Mu Shi, who had been waiting outside, heard the noise and came in with hot water. Young master, Shen Yu sent a message. She said that she is willing to agree, but she said that she hopes to continue to stay with Concubine Dowager. Shen Yu washed up and combed his hair with Mu Shi's help. Resisting the discomfort, he sat on the soft couch and slowly breathed a sigh of relief. I know. Ask her to sort out the things that she thinks are useful and send them over after she has sorted them out. Shan Yu was very tired today and did not want to deal with the business. Yes, young master, do you want to eat? His Majesty specially ordered the small kitchen to always prepare food. Send it over. Ask someone to set up a small table. I will eat here. Mu Shi deftly did what Shen Yu asked. Not long after, the small kitchen presented the dishes. Shen Yu held the chopsticks and said, There is a new person in the small kitchen? There were several dishes on the table that Shan Yu had not seen before. His Majesty asked the imperial chef in the palace who knows how to cook other dishes to send them over. Today, they are served with several dishes that His Majesty often uses. His Majesty, try them and see if they are to your liking. The palace servant in charge of delivering the dishes replied. Shen Yu tried them one by one. These dishes were not the same as the usual dishes in the palace, but they tasted very good. Shan Yu only ate a few mouthfuls and his appetite was greatly improved. He even ate more rice than usual. When Shang Junlin came back from the morning court, Shan Yu just finished eating. Seeing that he was eating happily, Shang Junlin directly asked someone to add more bowls and chopsticks, and Shan Yu finished all the leftover dishes. Why didn't His Majesty ask someone to serve the dishes again? Shan Yu leaned against the cushion behind him. Shang Junlin did not make room for him even though he came. Shang Junlin ate very quickly. His many years in the army had a great impact on him. Just like last night, when they were in the middle of the night, Shan Yu slept until almost noon. Shang Junlin was still able to get up early and go to the morning court. After a while, Shang Junlin finished eating. He took the handkerchief from Eunuch Meng and wiped his mouth. He said, You left so much food. Didn't you leave it especially for Zhen? Who left it for you? Shan Yu turned his face away. Okay, you did not deliberately leave it for Zhen. Shang Junlin, who was full, was very easy to talk to. It was Zhen who was very hungry, okay? Eunuch Meng brought people to remove the tableware and table. Shang Junlin sat on the soft couch, took Shen Yu in his arms, and kissed him on the cheek. You can't be at odds with Zhen because of what happened last night. Last night, you agreed to it. I'm not at odds. I'm just a little uncomfortable. The atmosphere last night was too good. Shen Yu responded to Shang Junlin with a kiss for the first time, which caused the man to be a little excited. Later, Shen Yu could not resist and used his hand to help him. The two of them made out on the couch, and under the deep gaze of the man, he inexplicably suggested using his leg. Then it got out of hand. Zhen checked this morning. You're not injured. This time, you used the ointment sent by Imperial Physician Gu. Is it better than last time? Chapter 81. Shan Yu vaguely remembered such a thing. At that time, his mind was in a mess. Now that he thought about it, there was indeed a slippery feeling. His thoughts unconsciously drifted to the night before. Beneath him was a soft bed, and in front of him was a hot breath. He was like a fish thrown to the surface of the water by the wind and waves, bobbing up and down with the waves. In a daze, a man's low voice sounded in his ears. I brought the ointment sent by Imperial Physician Gu. You won't feel uncomfortable this time. It was cold and hot. The wind and waves became stronger. Shang Junlin's heart itched when he saw the scarlet color crawling up his porcelain-white skin. He had seen Shen Yu's calm and self-controlled side, and he had also seen his absent-minded side. Regardless of whether it was the former or the latter, his heart was filled with love. Next time, I'll ask Imperial Physician Gu to send more. Shang Junlin leaned close to Shan Yu's ear and whispered, Fortunately, I put away the ointment last time. Your Majesty, what do you think of Imperial Physician Gu's ointment? Shan Yu pushed Shang Junlin away. He didn't want to be so close to him. What do you mean? His duty is to take good care of a Yu's body. Shan Yu looked at him faintly. Does that include this? Shang Junlin held back his laughter and nodded. Shan Yu was speechless. All right, I'm just teasing you. I'm not that stupid. I won't bring this matter to Imperial Physician Gu. Shang Junlin smiled and pinched Shan Yu's earlobe. Shan Yu's leg was still uncomfortable, and he didn't want to discuss this topic with the culprit. Your Majesty, have Miss Fong and the others' official positions been confirmed yet? It had been a few days since the results of the court examination were released. The other candidates who passed the court examination had all taken up their positions. Jiang Huiqing and He Chengyu had also taken up positions in the Hanlin Academy. Only Feng Jiari, who had placed second, had yet to come up with a plan. Originally, Shang Junlin wanted to take up a post in the Hanlin Academy, just like the previous banquet champion. However, he was met with fierce opposition from the courtiers. The Hanlin Academy was the starting point for one to enter the cabinet. They felt that it was enough to find a leisurely official position for Feng Jiai. There was no need to put her in the Hanlin Academy. Of course, there were more ministers who hoped that Shang Junlin would retract his order. They could not accept being an official in the same court as a woman. Not everyone had bad intentions towards the woman, but many people were unable to change their preconceived notions in a short period of time. Before the incident, it was undoubtedly a fantasy for a woman to be an official. Speaking of this matter, Shang Junlin rubbed his forehead as if he had a headache. The others didn't have any problems. They were even willing to take a step back and give He Chengyu and Jiang Huiqing higher official positions. Only Feng Jiai refused to budge. Shenyu, what do they plan to do with Miss Feng? Something that has already been announced to the world can't be retracted. Shang Junlin, they want me to bestow her a county lord or some other title of nobility. Shenyu, giving her a title of nobility but not giving her any real power. Not only does this shut the mouths of the people, but it also achieves their goal. It's a good suggestion that kills two birds with one stone. Shang Junlin, currently, only the Prime Minister is willing to let Feng Jiai enter the cabinet as an official. The other two still refuse to budge. The Dahuan cabinet had a lot of power. It had reached its peak during the reign of the previous emperor. After Shang Junlin ascended to the throne, he took back a lot of power. However, some of it was still in the hands of the cabinet. Other than the Prime Minister, the other two ministers in the cabinet were all from aristocratic families. If Shang Junlin wanted to do something that harmed the interests of the aristocratic families, the first obstacle he would encounter would be them. Both sides refused to budge. Now, the matter had entered a stalemate. Although Feng Jiai was an exception this year, the triennial Chonglin banquet still had to be held. In previous years, it was held by the aristocratic families. However, because of Feng Jiai's matter this year, Shang Junlin simply threw the matter to the Ministry of Rites. On one hand, the Chonglin banquet was a large-scale banquet held to congratulate the high school students. On the other hand, it was an opportunity for the students who had yet to enter the officialdom to familiarize themselves with the official officials of the Dahuan cabinet. In order to show the importance of the banquet, the princes would usually attend. Shang Junlin didn't have any children. His brothers and relatives had been sent far away by him. He would either send his ministers to represent him or go personally. Chonglin banquet? Does your majesty want to go? Shenyu heard Shang Junlin mention it and asked. I plan to go. You will go with me. Shenyu knew why Shang Junlin chose to go personally. Too many things had happened in the imperial examinations this year. The emperor's presence could not only show the importance of this matter, reassure the students, but also suppress the arrogance of some aristocratic families. Shan Yu was also a man. When Shang Junlin wanted to bring him along, no one objected. The main reason was that they knew that Shang Junlin wouldn't listen even if they did. Moreover, they would offend Shan Yu, who was highly favored by the emperor. It wasn't worth it. After the relevant regulations were finalized, the students also received the news. This year, His Majesty will bring His Majesty along. I finally have the chance to see for myself what the rumored His Majesty looks like. Don't you want to see His Majesty with your own eyes? If you can enter the imperial court as an official, you will have the chance to see His Majesty. The chance to see His Majesty is even rarer. I heard that the fraud this time was discovered in time because of His Majesty. Otherwise, we would all be in trouble. His Majesty is willing to bring His Majesty to the Chonglin banquet. It seems that the rumors are true. His Majesty really values His Majesty. Isn't the imperial harem forbidden from interfering in politics? Even if His Majesty dotes on His Majesty, he shouldn't bring His Majesty to such an occasion, right? Why shouldn't he? His Majesty brought His Majesty to the court examination. Speaking of which, it seems that no official is impeaching His Majesty. Isn't that so? They're all focused on the second place. When compared to Miss Fong's matter, I'm afraid that other matters are nothing in their eyes. His Majesty is really going to use female officials? It feels so strange. These things aren't for us to worry about now. Let's focus on what's at hand. That's true. It's the Chonglin banquet. I wonder if the poem is true. Will Miss Fong attend that day? I wonder what kind of woman she will be. She's a very capable and responsible woman. She's not afraid of power. If she can enter the imperial court as an official, I believe that she'll be a good official. The person who spoke had witnessed the farce at the Yingxing Tower with his own eyes. He had a good impression of Fong Jai. He was sure that in that situation, even a man might not have done as well as Fong Jai. The Fong residence. Lord Fong had long predicted that his daughter would encounter great resistance if she wanted to enter the imperial court as an official. He just didn't expect it to be so difficult at the beginning. After the Chonglin banquet, there will be a conclusion to this matter. Lord Fong sighed as he looked at his determined daughter. After the Chonglin banquet, the appointment of an official couldn't be delayed any longer. Although it seemed that the aristocratic families were suppressing Shang Junlin, that was only because Shang Junlin didn't want to push the aristocratic families too hard. Father has already done a lot for me. I'll walk the path in the future on my own. From the moment she had this dream, Fong Jai knew that the path she had to walk was destined to be bumpy and full of thorns. In the past, she didn't dare to tell others about her dream because she knew how unbelievable and shocking it was. She thought that her dream would remain a dream for the rest of her life. She didn't expect that she would have the chance to make it a reality. It was so rare that the first people to tell her that she wasn't indulging in fantasy were the two men who stood at the peak of power in the Great Huan dynasty. From that moment on, she made a decision. She must walk a new path for all the women in the world. Soon, it was the day of the Chonglin banquet. Shang Junlin changed into a less formal imperial robe. Shan Yu wanted to experience the atmosphere among the students, so he didn't wear the robes that represented his status as an emperor. A white wide-sleeved robe was draped over a light blue gauze overcoat. His long hair was unbound and draped softly behind his back. His facial features were exquisite, his eyes dark and bottomless. He had a faint smile on his face and held a folding fan in his hand. The Chonglin banquet was held outside the palace. There was a special residence for it. Shan Yu and Shang Junlin got on the carriage and slowly drove out of the palace. It's all thanks to Miss Fong. Otherwise, His Majesty would have been impeached by the imperial censor for taking me to the court examination. Shan Yu sat in the carriage and looked at Shang Junlin. That's right. With Fong Jai's incident before, they chose to ignore the court examination. Shang Junlin was basically reviewing memorials in Yuzhong Palace. Shan Yu occasionally glanced at them. Most of the memorials were about Fong Jai. Shang Junlin was too lazy to deal with them, so he asked people to take them out and put them aside. Your Majesty, you can distribute these unimportant memorials to the ministers. If Your Majesty is worried about the aristocratic families, you can promote a group of officials with clean backgrounds. Shen Yu suggested. The cabinet originally had the power to deal with these matters. However, the aristocratic families have been growing in power these years. If I give all the power to the cabinet, I won't be at ease. Yu is right. When I train a group of officials who are useful, I won't be as busy as I am now. When Shang Junlin first ascended the throne, he suffered a lot in the hands of the aristocratic families. Later, he used bloody means to suppress a group of ambitious people and slowly gathered the power of the imperial court into his own hands. The appointment from the imperial court had not been announced yet. Zhang Huiqing was still living with He Chengyu. He originally planned to rent a house for himself, but He Chengyu persuaded him not to. Huiqing, are you not used to living here? Or do you find me annoying? When He Chengyu said this, the corners of his eyes drooped slightly, giving off an inexplicable feeling of being abandoned. Feeling guilty, Zhang Huiqing hurriedly explained, No, why would I find Brother Chengyu annoying? I'm just afraid that you will find me troublesome. Why would Huiqing cause me trouble? It's clearly Huiqing who has helped me a lot, He Qingyu interrupted him. Moreover, Huiqing has also given me money for food and accommodation. You can even help me from time to time when you're living here. Why would I find you troublesome? He Qingyu calmly sized up Jiang Huiqing and continued, If you have a place to live outside, I have nothing to say if you want to move out. However, you don't even have a place to live. Moreover, I'm used to having Huiqing by my side. If you really move out, I'm afraid I won't be able to adapt in a short period of time. It won't be too late for Huiqing to consider this matter after the appointment from the imperial court has been announced. Jiang Huiqing thought about it. That was true. During this period of time, he had become used to living and eating with He Qingyu. If he really moved out, whether the new place was to his liking was another matter. First, he himself would be very uncomfortable. Just as He Qingyu had said, he wasn't living in his house for free. The two of them arrived at the Qianglin banquet together. One was the Zhuangyuan while the other was the Tanhua. As soon as they entered, they were surrounded by people. Some people wanted to get closer to He Qingyu, while others wanted to find Jiang Huiqing. The two of them were slowly separated by the crowd. Yi Jianming's followers finally found an opportunity. They looked at each other and sent someone to secretly follow them. Shan Yu got off the carriage and separated from Shang Junlin, walking into the crowd. Jiang Huiqing was talking to the people who kept coming up. Suddenly, he felt a pat on his shoulder. He turned around and suddenly met a pair of smiling eyes. Brother Yu? Chapter 82. Shan Yu nodded his head. Who is this brother? The people on the side also saw Shan Yu. They were surprised to see that he had a good temperament. He was one of the more knowledgeable people in this year's exam. He could speak to more than half of the people. For someone like the young master in blue, he definitely had an impression of him if he had seen him before. This is a good friend of mine. You can call him young Master Yu. I have something to do here, so I'll leave for a while. Sorry. Seeing that he had a friend, the others didn't want to keep pestering him. They made an appointment to continue chatting next time before letting him go. Jiang Huiqing struggled to get out of the crowd. He walked to Shan Yu's side and glanced behind him. What are you looking for? Shan Yu pressed the handle of his fan against his chin. Are you not satisfied with seeing me? Why would I be? Jiang Huiqing blinked his eyes. I just feel that it's rare to see you alone. Didn't that person come with you? It turned out that he was looking for Shang Junlin. Of course he came. If he didn't come, how could I come alone? He's not here. I know you guys feel uncomfortable seeing him, so I asked him to go do his own things. Shen Yu answered. Since Shang Junlin was here, there were some procedures that needed to be confirmed by him personally. There were also some ministers that he needed to meet. In comparison, Shan Yu seemed to be very free. I didn't expect that you and that person would really come, Jiang Huiqing said as they walked to a less crowded place. The situation this time is different. Miss Feng's matter is too shocking. They are still making a fuss. Shan Yu didn't mind revealing some details. For this matter, they were even willing to give you and brother he a higher official position. Indeed. After all, before this matter came out, no one expected that the second place of this year's exam would be a woman. Jiang Huiqing smiled shyly. To be honest, at first I thought I could at least get second place. At that time, I made a bet with His Majesty, saying that you would be the champion. As a result, His Majesty won both times, Shen Yu said with a smile. How can Huiqing be so favored by Brother Yu? Jiang Huiqing hadn't expected this and stilled. Huiqing accepts defeat to Brother Chengyu and Miss Feng. What do you all think of Miss Feng's matter? Shan Yu really wanted to know what this batch of examinees thought of women entering the imperial court as officials. I have the same opinion as Brother Chengyu. I think Miss Feng is worthy of the heavy responsibility. Among the others, many of them were convinced by Miss Feng's essay. Although they have some reservations about a woman being an official, their opposition is not so firm, Jiang Huiqing replied after sorting out the information he had received these days. Actually, it's all thanks to the announcement of everyone's essays when the results were released. The facts are right in front of them, and they have no choice but to admit it. After reading Miss Fong's article, many people felt that they were not as good as her. Even I felt the same way. Fong Jiai's essay had a unique point of view, digging into areas they hadn't considered. It was novel and unique among all the answers, and made people's eyes light up. After Jiang Huiqing finished reading, he gained a lot of new insights. Afterwards, he pulled He Qingyu to discuss it. Both of them admired Fong Jiai for being able to write such an essay as a woman. At the time of the Prince of Yu's incident, I felt that this woman wasn't simple. Shan Yu's eyes curved as he thought of the Prince of Yu who was unlucky because of this incident. A woman, after such an incident, can still stand out to seek justice for herself and the people who were hurt. Even if the other party was a member of the imperial family, she didn't back down. Yes, even if it's a man, how many people can do what Fong Jiai did? Jiang Huiqing was also present at the time. If it wasn't for his admiration, he wouldn't have acted as a bridge when Fong Jiai came looking for him. Shan Yu casually glanced behind him and suggested, "Let's find a pavilion to sit for a while." Jiang Huiqing didn't object. The residence where the Chonglin banquet was held was very large. It was richly ornamented and the scenery was extraordinarily beautiful. Every certain distance, there were pavilions for people to rest in. The two chose one with few people and walked in. Seeing the two enter the pavilion and sit down, with no intention of leaving for the time being, the people following behind the two looked at each other. One person stayed behind to keep an eye on them, while the other quietly returned. "Did you see clearly? Wasn't that He Qingyu by his side?" Hearing the report from the person who came back, a young master frowned and asked. They had always regarded Yi Jianming as their leader. When they saw Yi Jianming being suppressed by a poor boy who came out of nowhere, they wanted to teach him a lesson. Yes, this servant saw clearly. That person was a bit shorter than young Master He, and the color of his clothes was different. Oh, right, that person didn't tie up his hair. Do you know that person's identity? I don't know. I only heard Jiang Huiqing call him Brother Yu. Surnamed Yu. The young master who spoke glanced at the person beside him. Are there any aristocratic families surnamed Yu in the capital? As far as I know, there aren't any. There's no one surnamed Yu in this year's imperial examinations. A person who came out of nowhere. The person who spoke held his chin. He's nothing to be afraid of. Come, let's go take a look. Shouldn't we greet Brother Jianming first? The other person was a bit hesitant. And it's the Chonglin banquet right now. If something happens, you're just a coward. We won't really do anything to that Jiang guy. We just want to make friends with him. How could we really do anything at the Chonglin banquet? We're not stupid. They weren't like Yi Jianming, who had been carefully raised by his family. His goal for participating in the imperial examinations was also very simple. He wanted to be in the top 3 and enter the Hanlin Academy to prepare for entering the cabinet in the future. Originally, everything had been planned very well. Who would have thought that 3 dark horses would suddenly appear? They didn't care why that person from the He clan of Jiangnan would suddenly become an official. As for the other 2, one was a woman, and the other was from a poor family with no foundation. They could still make some moves. Shan Yu and Jiang Huiqing chatted for a while. Suddenly, they heard footsteps approaching. Shan Yu turned to look. It was a group of young masters dressed in luxurious clothes. He understood immediately. Brother Yu, are they your friends? Seeing that these people were clearly heading in their direction, Jiang Huiqing was slightly confused. I don't know them. Do you know them, Huiqing? I don't. It's fate that brought us together. Just because you didn't know each other before doesn't mean you won't know each other in the future. Don't you think so, Lord Tanhua? As they spoke, the group of people had already entered the pavilion. Shen Yu sized them up one by one and found that one of them could be considered an old acquaintance. He was the kind of person who had made friends with many times in his previous life. "Who are you?" Feeling the malice from these people, Jiang Huaiqing frowned. He found a seat and sat down. The person who seemed to be the leader said, "My surname is Zhao. The two people beside me are surnamed Dian and Lu. We just want to get to know you, the Tanhua master. We don't have any other intentions." "But I don't want to know you." Jiang Huaiqing didn't have a good impression of these people. He didn't want to be entangled with them. He didn't expect Jiang Huaiqing to be so direct. Young Master Zhao's heart choked. He thought that this kind of person from a poor family would be easy to hook up with. He didn't expect that he would be rejected. "If there's nothing else, you can leave." Jiang Huaiqing's face turned cold. He didn't hesitate to chase them away. "You don't know what's good for you. We took the initiative to make friends with you because we think highly of you. Otherwise, do you think that you, a poor family without any foundation, can stand firm in the capital just because you are the Tanhua master?" Young Master Zhao was angered and threatened. Another person said, "Young Master He, who often hangs out with you, is only from the He family in Zhongnan. If something really happens, they can't do anything. Instead of clinging on to him, why don't you change your target? If the people you are on good terms with are us, it will be much more convenient in the future. This is my business. I don't need you to worry about it." Jiang Huaiqing's tone became colder and colder. "Also, if something happens, only the imperial court and His Majesty can make the decision. Or is it that your power surpasses His Majesty's?" "We didn't say that." "With such a big accusation, who would dare to admit it?" "Then what do you mean?" Shen Yu said while waving his fan. "Aren't you implying that you have a lot of power?" Young Master Zhao and the others' attention was on Jiang Huaiqing. It wasn't until Shan Yu spoke that they diverted some attention to him. "Who are you?" "Huaiqing's good friend. I can't stand you using your power to force people. Are all the aristocratic families in the capital like this?" Shan Yu deliberately pretended to be an outsider. It's really an eye-opener. Because of Zhan Bei Ho's favoritism, Shan Yu rarely went to the big events in the capital. Very few people knew him. After entering the palace, outsiders had even fewer opportunities to see him. It was not strange that these people did not know Shen Yu. If everyone knew him, he wouldn't dare to walk around here with his real appearance. Thinking of the purpose of this visit, young Master Zhao took a deep breath and suppressed his anger. "We really just admire young Master Zhong's talent and want to make friends with him. I've never seen anyone make friends with such an attitude. Instead of saying that you are making friends, it's more appropriate to say that you are seeking revenge." Shan Yu tilted his head and pretended not to understand. "Or is this a unique way for aristocratic families in the capital to make friends?" "You..." Young Master Zhao was so stifled that he couldn't breathe. He pointed at Shen Yu and said, "You," for a long time, but he couldn't say, "You." Seeing that the situation was not good, one of the people who had hesitated at the beginning secretly summoned a servant and whispered some instructions. The servant quietly retreated. Shan Yu saw the servant disappear at the end of the path and pretended not to see. The servant hurried to find Yi Jianming and told him exactly what happened in the pavilion. After listening, Yi Jianming's expression changed again and again. He scolded in a low voice, "A bunch of idiots. Of all the times, they chose the Qianglin banquet. They deliberately set him up. But he couldn't leave them alone. He was the one who brought them in. If something really happened, he would be the first to be blamed." Hurriedly bidding farewell to the people around him, Yi Jianming rushed to the place the servant mentioned with an ugly expression. When Yi Jianming arrived, young Master Zhao and the others were confronting someone with red faces and thick necks. On the other hand, Jiang Huaiqing's side was at ease, as if they were playing with people. "Shut up." Yi Jianming adjusted the expression on his face, walked over, and said to Jiang Huaiqing and Shen Yu, "I'm sorry, I apologize to the two of you on their behalf. If they've been rude in any way, please forgive them." We don't dare, we don't dare. How could we dare to be dissatisfied with aristocratic families? Shan Yu opened his fan and covered half of his face. If one day they disappear without a trace, we won't even know how they disappeared. How could it be? Yi Jianming glanced at those people. He couldn't imagine how many things they shouldn't have said. How could they be so stupid, daring to say anything when provoked? What disappear? I didn't know that there was someone who could make people disappear without a trace under my eyes. Chapter 83. A dignified voice came from behind. Yi Jianming stiffly turned his head. The moment he saw who it was, a great panic rose in his heart. He couldn't help but start to regret. Why did he bring those people from the Zhao family in? Why did he acquiesce when they proposed to deal with Zhang Huiqing? He only thought that the aristocratic families could hold up the sky in the capital, but forgot that there was imperial power above the aristocratic families. The one who could decide everyone's fate was not the aristocratic families, but the real master of Dehuan, Shang Junlin. Seeing Yi Jianming's increasingly ugly face, the other people finally realized the seriousness of the matter. After calming down, they suddenly realized that they had said a lot of things that they shouldn't have said. They all knelt down in panic. Shang Junlin glanced at the minister beside him and walked to Shan Yu's side. He said in a deep voice, "This is the outstanding son of an aristocratic family you were talking about, officially?" There was an inexplicable sarcasm in his voice. The questioned official's face turned red and then white. He hurriedly knelt down and begged for forgiveness. "It's my fault for not teaching him well. Your Majesty, please forgive me." Official Yi and the other aristocratic family officials were just discussing with Shang Junlin about this year's examination. Other than Feng Jia's matter, of course they wanted to seek the best interests for the aristocratic families. Who would have thought that before the discussion reached a conclusion, the son of an aristocratic family with the best results had an accident? Official Yi almost vomited blood in his heart. Yi Jianming was carefully cultivated by the Yi family. Not only did he not become the champion, but he also had such an accident. He could be considered as a waste. His Majesty had always been afraid of the aristocratic families being too powerful, so he had always supported the commoners to balance the power of the aristocratic families. Now, His Majesty had heard such words with his own eyes. He had heard it with his own ears, but there was no chance to remedy it. No, it wasn't really heard with his own ears. After all, those words didn't come from the mouth of an aristocratic family's son. The truth was still to be discussed. After thinking this through, Official Yi looked in the direction of the person who had just spoken. Other than Zhang Huiqing, there was also a handsome young man. The lower half of the young man's face was covered by a fan, only revealing his delicate eyebrows. Feeling his gaze, Shan Yu looked over. His eyebrows curved, but there was no smile in his eyes. Official Yi was in a trance for a moment, but he suddenly realized that this young man was none other than Shen Guijun, who had left the palace with His Majesty. Why was he with Zhang Huiqing? What was his relationship with Zhang Huiqing? A series of questions flooded into Lord Yi's mind. He didn't dare to think too deeply about whether what happened today was a coincidence or a trap set up in advance. Shang Junlin's tone was cold. Indeed, they need to be disciplined. Today, at the Qianglin banquet, they even dared to make a move on the Tanhua of the imperial court. In the future, when they enter the imperial court and have more power in their hands, won't they do more things that they shouldn't? I know my mistake. Student knows his mistake. Since you know your crime, then you can't be exempted from the punishment you deserve. Otherwise, wouldn't the world say that His Majesty is biased towards the aristocratic families? Where is the dignity of your Majesty and the aristocratic families? Shen Yu hooked Shang Junlin's finger with his hand hidden under his sleeve. Your Majesty, don't you agree? Guijun is right. Today we are both here. Otherwise, no one would know that the Tanhua was bullied. Official Yi, why don't you tell us, what is the punishment for threatening and humiliating an official of the Great Huan dynasty? It seemed that His Majesty wasn't going to let this matter rest. Official E and the kneeling aristocratic family officials felt defeated. They didn't have time to care about the poor children and the female officials. How to prevent His Majesty from taking advantage of this opportunity to punish the aristocratic families was the most important thing. Only now did young Master Zhao and the others realize how big of a mess they had made. Young Master Zhao's face turned pale. The Zhao family had always relied on the Yi family. If Yi Jianming was implicated because of him, or even if all the aristocratic families were implicated, his family would be finished. Your Majesty, I was the one who did this. It has nothing to do with young Master Yi. Your Majesty, please understand. Young Master Zhao made up his mind and kowtowed a few times, taking all the blame on himself. I was the one who admired young Master Zhang and wanted to get to know him. After being rejected, I was angry and spoke without thinking. This really has nothing to do with young Master Yi. The rest of the people also reacted and took the blame on themselves. Seeing that there was room for manipulation, the aristocratic family officials looked at each other while Shang Junlin's gaze fell on the aristocratic family members. One of them opened his mouth and said, "Your Majesty, please investigate the truth of the matter." Shen Yu smiled coldly. Does this official mean that I would slander young Master Yi? Not to mention that I don't know young Master Yi and have no enmity with each other. I am also from an aristocratic family. Why would I lie? Shen Yu knew that these people wouldn't admit to their crimes obediently. In order to minimize the losses, he had to find a few scapegoats. Thus, during the argument just now, he intentionally or unintentionally led these people to talk about Yi Jianming. Otherwise, why would he waste so much time talking to these people? Zhang Huiqing sensed his intentions. The two of them cooperated and got some information out of him. This official doesn't dare. I think you are very daring. It's not easy to survive in the officialdom. So what if you're third in the imperial examination? You don't have any foundation in the capital. How far do you think you can go? These words were said by Yi Jianming himself. Does he really know nothing about it? Do you believe it? Shen Yu put down his fan and leaned on Shang Junlin. Your Majesty, take them away first. Don't ruin the Qianglin banquet. When the banquet is over, punish them accordingly. What do you think? Shang Junlin looked down at the officials kneeling on the ground. This official accepts the decree. What could be said had been said. What else could they say? Fortunately, it was dealt with after the Qianglin banquet, which gave them time to respond. All right, all of you may rise. The guards came to take Yi Jianming and his group away. Shang Junlin took Shen Yu and left. Zhang Huiqing followed behind them. The remaining officials looked at each other. They didn't immediately follow. Instead, they gathered together and discussed in low voices. Say, do you think today's incident was an accident? This question is no longer important. Whether it was an accident or a coincidence, it has already happened. Moreover, His Majesty saw it. After all the previous incidents, do you still think that His Majesty is an easy person to deal with? We didn't send His Majesty a person to restrain him. We sent him a helper into the palace. All right, let's not talk about this anymore. Let's think about how to deal with this matter. Lord Yi interrupted them. Let's first talk to the two officials in the cabinet and see what's going on. I originally thought that Zhang Huiqing was easy to deal with. I didn't expect him to be in contact with His Majesty. Tell your people not to lay a hand on him unless you have a complete grasp of the situation. Some lessons should be learned once, Lord Yi instructed. Yes. On the other side, He Chengyu received the news. He apologized to the people he was talking to and hurried over. Huiqing, are you all right? He Chengyu looked at Zhang Huiqing from head to toe. He was relieved when he saw that Zhang Huiqing was fine. I'm fine. His Majesty and His Majesty are here. No one can hurt me. Zhang Huiqing allowed him to look at him. Seeing that he was worried, he comforted him. I shouldn't have let you go alone. He Chengyu was very upset. If he had followed, those people wouldn't have dared to lay a hand on Zhang Huiqing. I'm really fine. His Majesty and His Majesty are both here. Jiang Huaiqing pointed to the front. He Chengyu let go of Jiang Huaiqing's arm and bowed to the two people not far away. Greetings, Your Majesty and His Majesty. No need to be so polite. Shen Yu pulled Shang Junlin over and joked, I see you guys together all day long. When I saw Huaiqing today, I was curious why you weren't with him. I didn't pay attention for a while and was separated by the crowd. Thank you for helping Huaiqing. In fact, we also have to thank him. If it wasn't for today's incident, who knows how long your appointment would have been delayed. This time, if the aristocratic families want to protect Yi Jianming and themselves, they will have to make some concessions. Shan Yu didn't expect that things would take such a big turn for the better in such a short time. When they reached the intersection, the two sides separated. Brother Chengyu, you don't want me to move. Are you worried that the aristocratic families will lay a hand on me? After this incident, Jiang Huaiqing thought deeper. That's just one of the reasons. He Chengyu admitted. Huaiqing, you don't have to think too much. What I said to you before wasn't an excuse. The real reason is that I'm used to living with you. I didn't think too much. It's just... Jiang Huaiqing sighed. Forget it. I'll have to trouble brother Chengyu during this time. Huaiqing, you don't have to feel pressured living with me. Because of my family, they won't dare to lay a hand on me. After this incident, they won't dare to act rashly. He Chengyu suddenly stopped and faced Jiang Huaiqing. He said in a low voice, as the eldest son of the family, I've been taught that I have to bear the responsibility of the family in the future. Because of the heavy workload of school, my younger brothers and sisters were also ordered not to disturb me. Every time they wanted to get close to me, they would be quickly called away by the elders. Getting along with Huaiqing has been one of my wishes since I was young. Jiang Huaiqing unconsciously followed He Chengyu's words and imagined the scene of the young He Chengyu wanting to get close to his younger brothers and sisters but unable to do so because of the heavy responsibility on his shoulders. His heart softened and he went forward to hug He Chengyu. If brother Chengyu doesn't mind, you can treat me as your younger brother in the future. He Chengyu's body stiffened. He slowly put his hand on Jiang Huaiqing's back and said in a hoarse voice, Okay. The Chonglin banquet officially began. Shang Junlin held Shan Yu's hand and walked to the main seat. He said a few words of encouragement and then started the banquet. With Shang Junlin present, whether it was the officials or the reserves who were about to enter the officialdom, everyone was nervous. Shang Junlin also knew that everyone would be restrained if he was here. After the normal procedure, he left with Shen Yu. After they left, the atmosphere gradually warmed up. There were not many people outside. Shen Yu held Shang Junlin's hand and walked slowly along the path. Your Majesty, don't you think that He Chengyu pays too much attention to Jiang Huaiqing? Shen Yu felt that Shang Junlin was euphemistically saying this. Huaiqing didn't feel anything wrong at all. Their affairs should be handled by them. A Yu cares about them, so why not care more about me? Shang Junlin treated Jiang Huaiqing differently because of Shen Yu. He didn't care about the relationship between the officials. Your Majesty, how else do you want me to care about you? Ask about your well-being every day? Greet you in the morning and evening? That's not necessary. Shang Junlin suddenly stopped and pulled Shen Yu into his arms. A Yu just needs to pay less attention to others. Shen Yu was caught off guard and bumped into Shang Junlin's arms. She smelled the ambergris on Shang Junlin's body and said with a smile, Then I'll think of your Majesty every morning, noon, and night, okay? You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.